My Blue Cross, my blue, Ford Blue.
It's the WJR Road Show with Paul W. Smith. Today featuring Ford. This stop on the Road Show is presented by Axalta, Aurea, Bridgestone, Continental Structural Plastics, and Lear. Here's Paul.
Okay, just a second. I'm catching up here. I just went to bed a couple of hours ago. I watched that doggone game. It was not good.
I watched it too, Dub.
It was sad.
Sorry,
actually.
Annie.
It was very sad. Well, you're sorry for Annie, not sorry for me?
Well, I know she really
Come on, Paul.
green and white. If it was Michigan, I'd be
It was
saying
hard
sorry
for
to
all
you.
of us.
I have no dog in the fight.
Just
so.
because of the time, it was hard.
Yeah.
The loss didn't make it any easier, that's for sure. That's me, or is it loud right now? There we go. It's Friday!
Yay!
Oh, man, you can say that again.
Yay!
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. It is Friday, finally, March 19th, the 78th day of 2021 with 287 days left in the year. Make each and every day count. Each day is a gift, and let's make an agreement. We will never have a time change, a St. Patrick's Day, and a Final Four, NCAA, whatever we had last night, this morning, ever again in the same week.
The same week. I'm with you, Dub.
Either that or we take the week off. One or the other.
Good idea.
But it was a bad game. I don't even know what the final score was because it
86 to 80.
So 6
In
points.
overtime.
Yeah. And I mean, it's you can say it. Probably we could say it a few times this season. It's a game we easily could have won. We were ahead by, I think, 14 at the half.
11.
Around that,
Yes.
something. I mean, we were ahead.
Yes, we were ahead.
It was tough. It was
We
tough.
lost in the second half, big time.
Big time. It was like big time. And it was, unfortunately, the conversation, because I stayed up afterwards to watch all these guys talk. And I like Charles Barkley. I like him a lot. I've always liked him a lot.
Does a great job.
He defended, not that Tom Izzo needs anyone's defense, but he defended Coach Izzo because, he's a very emotional player. The teams are very emotional and used to the way Tom Izzo coaches, but he's tough. He's old school tough, and he started talking to a player, and the player obviously was yelling back at him, and then the player walked away from him, and so Tom grabbed his jersey, like, hey, it's like a father with his kid, and you're being reprimanded by your dad. You better not walk away.
Gabe Brown. His name's Gabe Brown. Yeah.
And he kind of grabbed the back of his shirt, and he kept kind of pulling away from him, and then he followed him up, going back to the locker room, and was. So these announcers, and I don't even know this one guy. I know he's a famous athlete, but he was really giving Izzo a very bad time about that's not the way you coach, not in this day and age, and all of that, as if coaching has to change because of the cancel culture. Now Coach Izzo has to change, and I don't think that that's going to happen. And I loved Barkley saying, you know what, I'm not going to be one of these sports announcers up here tonight saying, well, Izzo was yelling at a guy and the coach was doing this or doing that. I'm not going to be one of those guys doing that. He's coaching. And, right away they started getting texts from former Michigan State basketball players saying, that's Coach Izzo. There's nothing wrong with what he's doing. This is the way he coaches. And these are all players that played for him, so they didn't have to defend him if they didn't like what the coach was doing. So it's really a mishmash of whatever. I communicated with Coach early this morning, and it's tough, man. It's tough out there to be in the public eye and have people criticizing you and all of that have either no idea or not a part of the game or whatever. And I feel kind of sorry for him. But he'll be fine. But it was a tough season
Very
for
tough.
all the teams, and changed everything. So it is 5:43 at WJR.
This report is sponsored by LifeLock Identity Theft Protection. Tax season can be a big headache if identity thieves steal personal info from your tax forms. LifeLock helps protect, monitor, and restore your identity. No one can monitor all transactions at all businesses, but you can save up to 25% off your first year at LifeLock.com. Promo code RISK.
Let's take a look. Our WJR traffic and weather together first here with Dana Clark.
Traffic first sponsored by Window World. Call Window World 1-800-NEXT-WINDOW for your window, door, or siding project. Get 0% financing for 60 months. Window World is America's largest exterior replacement remodeler and a trusted team partner of WJR's Inside Outside Guys. Call 1-800-NEXT-WINDOW or visit windowworlddetroit.com. Accident along 94 westbound at the Southfield Freeway. That collision is blocking the right shoulder. Now, WJR Weather First from the Weather Channel, sponsored by the Cremation Society of Michigan. For over 33 years, the Cremation Society of Michigan has been providing dignified cremation services without the cost of traditional funerals. For cremation information, contact the Cremation Society of Michigan at 1-800-241-3131 or visit cremationmichigan.com.
Nice warming trend under high pressure coming in. Beautiful by the first day of spring on Sunday. Not too bad today. A little cloud, otherwise clearing sky. We'll get into mostly sunny sky today, 48. Tonight, clear, 26. Outlying areas a little colder. Might be some upper teens in spots. Sunshine tomorrow, 55. Sunday, spring arrives with sunshine and mild weather, low 60s. From the Weather Channel, meteorologist Ray staging on News Talk 760 WJR.
Well, happy Friday to you as well here on News Talk 760 WJR at 5:45. And we're lucky enough to have the ability to share with you some remembrances from the late Rush Limbaugh.
A lady by the name of June Chu is a dean at Yale. She has a doctorate in social psychology. Her biography touts her long career helping students, not just academically, but supporting their multifaceted identities. Now, recently, Yale students stumbled upon one of Dr. Chu's multifaceted identities hidden on social media. In a review of a local restaurant, she posted, "If you are white trash, this is the perfect night out for you." The Japanese eatery was not authentic, so it was for low-class folks. After slamming a gym employee, she wrote, "I don't care if you lose your job. I'm sure McDonald's would hire you." And this one, she called local movie theater employees barely educated morons trying to manage snack orders for the obese. Well, after the Yale Daily News published her scathing reviews, students and alumni of the prestigious elitist university were horrified, supposedly. Dr. Chu deleted her social media account and apologized. She says that she's learned a lot about the power of words. She says her posts demean the values to which she holds herself. In other words, the racist, bigoted person who wrote those racist, bigoted views, that's not the real Dr. Chu. Anyone else would have been fired, but Dr. Chu won't have to apply to McDonald's because Yale placed her on leave until things cool down. That's the multifaceted identity of liberalism. You talk one game, you play another, and you get away with both.
Rush Limbaugh, noon to 3 today, right here on WJR.
Well, there we are at 5:47 on News Talk 760 WJR. It looks like a number of our Paul's peeps may have stayed up too late last night as well. Judging from the number of them right now.
Yes, maybe they're still awake from.
Has there been an announcement? Somebody has said to me yesterday or the day before that Dan Bongino was going to possibly take over the Rush time period, but I don't know if that's official or not. And I see Paul's peeps are talking about it this morning. Anybody know?
I do not know. I have not seen anything, Deb.
I've not heard anything internally on our end, but I did hear that externally from other people in the radio business calling and asking me if I knew. I have no idea. No idea.
Sorry,
Dan-
don't know who he is.
Yeah, he's a conservative guy on Fox all the time.
That's why.
So Jane says it was posted on Facebook yesterday. That does not mean that WJR will carry that program. And however, that's, I don't want to get too inside baseball, but that's not necessarily a determination that we locally can make. We're owned by a big company that owns, I don't know how many stations anymore, 400. I don't know what the number
Yeah, I
is.
think you're right, Tom.
So they may decide to carry a syndicated show there, or we may be able to put a local show there. We don't know. So we'll all find out together. Well, as soon as we know, we'll let you know. There are changes coming because of the obvious changes with Frank's retirement and with the loss of Rush. They are not going to be able to run pieces of Rush for forever. So there'll be, like I say, changes. We'll let you know about them as we find out about them along the way. Anybody got anything they wanted to talk about here offline with our Paul's Peeps inside?
Has the wind died down? Yesterday was one of those nasty
It's going to
days.
continue today, Annie, and today is the last full day of winter. So, yay.
Ooh, that's a
That's
thanks
right.
Tomorrow's
Wow.
spring.
Yep.
Tomorrow's
And it's
spring
gonna
is
be
sprung.
Nice all weekend,
It's gonna be a great
sunshine, dry, and then looking at next week, we stay in the 60s and 50s.
That's good news.
So that's good.
Yesterday it was amazingly windy.
Mhm.
Oh my gosh.
And we should be reaching 100 million vaccines today, so distributed today. Today, that mark should be reached.
That's a good day too.
That is a good day.
All
Yes.
good.
And Paul, how was your day yesterday with the Dollars for Scholars?
Oh, it went very well. Thanks for asking. It was, I think it was a little over an hour, about an hour or so. Went to a studio I'd never heard about before, Building 22 it was called, in Detroit. And it was a full television studio. It was really a very nice setup. And we did the Dollars for Scholars, which we did it live, but I'm sure they taped it, and hopefully they're rerunning it now on various social media. I don't know. I would assume that we can find
Welcome
it out.
back to the WJR Road Show with Paul W. Smith. Today featuring Ford. This stop on the Road Show is presented by Axalta, Aurea, Bridgestone, Continental Structural Plastics, and Lear. Once again, Paul W. Smith.
And of course, we always thank and appreciate those sponsors that make it possible for us to do what we do. There aren't a lot of things that come to you free anymore. Radio happens to be one of them, and WJR Radio. And we're not a cheap station. We're an expensive station to operate. We have a lot of people in talk radio. And so we thank those sponsors to make it possible for us to do special days like this special Paul W. Smith Road Show for Ford Motor Company. I am wearing the best I can in my Ford blue oval shirt. And it occurred to me next year, if we do this next year and we do it virtually, or even if we don't, we should ask all of the companies for their logo shirts and wear them those days.
Great idea.
It just seems to make sense. Plus, I like getting free stuff.
Exactly.
Anyway. Anything else going on? Anybody got anything they brought to our little gathering this morning?
Well, Pepsi is launching their first new flavor in 5 years. We always talk about food, so
Yeah,
each morning we have to talk about some food.
absolutely. What is the flavor?
The flavor is, get ready, mango.
Ooh.
I don't know about that.
Cherry, vanilla, mango.
Mango. Yes. What do we feel?
I won't knock it till I try it, but it's not the
Starting
first
Monday.
flavor. It would not be the first flavor I would think of. What about you guys?
I would never guess that.
Yeah, I
What
like
would
the
make Pepsi
vanilla a
better?
lot.
I like vanilla. I like
And
cherry.
the cherry. And now
Okay.
Coke has cherry vanilla together, which I've been doing that at the movie theater for years.
Yeah.
Oopsie. You know how you just
Yeah.
go and thing and you go, oh, some lemonade in there. Oh yeah, that's good. Yeah. Uh-huh.
Oh, you've been mixing them together.
That's probably how Arnold Palmer came up with his Arnold Palmer.
Right.
Yeah, it comes out Monday, Dana. Mango Pepsi.
Mango.
Be interesting to see. I don't know. I remember there was a hot dog company. I can't remember what it was called when I was living in New York City and working there. But it wasn't mango. It was some other exotic fruit, something that was a hot dog king or whatever. And the juice was supposed to be good for digestion and good for your stomach. One of our Paul's Peeps or somebody. Yeah, it was Papaya King.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. Papaya King hot dogs. Hot dog stands. They were everywhere. Mm-hmm. And that one, at first I didn't get it. And then I thought, well, that makes sense. Papaya is good for soothing your stomach and whatever. And you're going to eat a hot dog, which let's just say it's not maybe the best food for you, but in my world, it was at the time. We got a lot of people responding on social media saying they will pass on the mango.
Yes, not a good reaction.
If you're in a meeting with more than one person, you get that? In a meeting with more. Yes. How do you all agree on mango? Mm-hmm. Pepsi and vanilla. Oh, that sounds good. Pepsi and cherry Pepsi. Well, there's already cherry Coke, so we better do that too for the people who only drink Pepsi. But a meeting, presumably with 5, 10, I don't know how many people all making a lot of money. Pepsi and mango.
Right.
It must have been the boss that came up with that for everybody to go along with that.
Right.
Well,
no one had the heart to say no.
Today is because, as you point out today, we talk about food. It's Poultry Day. Poultry Day celebrates chicken, turkey, and other birds we commonly consume. Chicken and turkey lower in fats, lower in cholesterol than other meats, making it better for your health. Well, of course, they also give us our breakfast eggs. A chicken sandwich is a pretty good sandwich, I think.
Yeah, the best.
I think a chicken sandwich is really, really good. And the kids like the chicken fingers, if there's any real chicken in them. The most famous chicken is Looney Tunes' Foghorn Leghorn. Mm-hmm. He's the most famous chicken. And, of course, there's the famous chicken philosophy, which is? Which came first, the chicken or the egg?
Yes.
And then what's your favorite dance? Not mine, but...
The chicken.
The chicken dance.
However it goes.
And remember what Frank Perdue used to say, may he rest in peace. I think he's finally gone to that hen house in the sky. Frank Perdue always used to say, it takes a tough man to make a tender chicken. That's more on poultry than I'll ever want to know. We never got to the most popular dog breeds. Please, somebody remind me, coming out of the news at 6. I keep bringing it up and then we keep forgetting it. It's also Let's Laugh Day. I laugh at you. Okay, that's it. 5:57.
Early in the morning, Doug.
Yeah, it's very fake laugh. But 5:57. Ann's the best. 5:57 at WJR.
This report is sponsored by LifeLock Identity Theft Protection. Tax season can be a big headache if identity thieves steal personal info from your tax forms. LifeLock helps protect, monitor, and restore your identity. No one can monitor all transactions at all businesses, but you can save up to 25% off your first year at LifeLock.com. Promo code RISK.
Well, I have no excuse. It's like the dog ate the homework. I didn't do my column yesterday like I was supposed to. It was a very busy day and then late into the night. So I'll be doing that right after I get off the air. That's I have no excuse. Just a busy day and basketball and everything else. Let's find out how we're doing here on the WJR traffic and weather first. I bet it's pretty good, Dana Clark.
Traffic First, sponsored by Primetime Testing Laboratory. In need of automotive component or vehicle testing, Primetime is accredited to a range of mechanical testing services, from environmental chambers and vibration equipment to electrical reliability, cycling, and plastic material testing, just to name a few. For your next automotive project, get a free quote at primetimetestinglab.com. That's primetimetestinglab.com. Accident that is along 94 westbound at the Southfield Freeway. That wreck is blocking the right shoulder. Now, WJR Weather First from the Weather Channel, sponsored by Gordon Chevrolet. Gordon Chevrolet, where not only do you pick your payment, but now pick your program. Need to pull ahead your lease? Do you need GM employee pricing or a low payment with zero interest? Let Gordon Chevrolet help you find it. Ford Road, just west of Merriman in Garden City. GordonChevrolet.com. Gordon Chevrolet, find new road. We are in for a great weekend ahead. You get a chance to do a lot of stuff outside, like that yard work. Today, lots of sunshine and dry all weekend. A high of 47. Tonight, clear skies, low 26. Saturday, sunny skies, a high of 55. And lots of sun as well on Sunday, hitting 62. Clear skies, 28 degrees. I'm Dana Clark, WJR News with Marie Osborne in 2 minutes.
So, Deb, David says poultry does not work on Friday during Lent.
Oh, you're absolutely right, David. Thanks for the heads up.
So
But
here's
it is
a question.
poultry day.
Here's a question, though, for the gang. People love fish and chips on Friday during Lent. Where are the best places for fish and chips? I know there's some places that have been around for a really long time.
I saw a list a couple of weeks ago. I didn't save it.
Let's see if
I
our
think they say
tell us.
like at fish markets. There's a place in Detroit that's really good. What is the name of it? Also, Bush's does a special on Friday. I've gotten their fish before. It's catfish, though. Some people don't like catfish.
Ooh,
Um,
just talk to somebody about if they ate catfish. or
yeah,
not.
some people hate catfish. I like it. You should be able to look it up.
Mhm.
Like a
Yeah, I
list.
remember. Do you guys
Churches do
remember
it.
Arthur Treacher's fish and
Yes.
chips?
Yes.
Yes.
I'm sure they're long gone. I haven't seen or heard about them in a long
A lot
time.
of churches do it. They do
Yeah.
it, and you go to your local church and check
Oh,
with your
church
local
church fish fries.
Yeah,
Yeah.
people, they're really popular. People,
Yeah.
I wonder if they are during the pandemic.
they are offering carryout. So,
Mm.
there's this limited amount of seating, but then they're offering carryout. I've never been to one. so I don't-
Highland House has great fish, according to Jane Tarbett.
Mitchell, she said.
Highland House, great fish, and Mitchell's. You see the Highland House above that?
Yeah.
I can't tell if we see the same things here in order or not.
Yep, we do.
And Jane is very talkative this morning. She also loves her Doberman. Remember, Dobermans used to be highly feared dogs. German Shepherds, Dobermans, and that's all been taken over now by the pit bull. There's never been anything like the pit bull, kind of the Mike Tyson of dogs. It just occurred to me as I was saying that, there were other fierce fighters, but boy, Mike Tyson put the fear of God in the competition out there.
Dana, do you have a dog?
Not anymore. Remember, Uno passed.
Uno passed.
Yeah, so I don't know. I'm surprising Mama Val,
Oh.
and I'm taking her Sunday to see some puppies
Oh,
just to cheer her up. But we're just visiting because I'm not sure if we're ready.
That's
to
what
have
everyone.
joint
That's what
custody
everyone
again,
said.
right?
We're just looking.
I'm not sure, but I thought it would cheer her up. There's a little pet land in Novi.
Oh.
I set up a date for us, so we're going to go and just play with some puppies. That should cheer her up, but we may come out with one, who knows.
well, it's tough to play with a puppy and not leave
Then
home.
not right. Yeah.
Well, it'll be up to her.
I don't remember this. Well, first of all, I haven't emceed a charity event in the last year, the way I used to do them every other night. And always the big one was when they'd bring a puppy around to the crowd. And they would go for thousands of dollars. They knew how to raise money at those.
Right.
Events, I'll tell you what. Bring out
every
the
time.
puppies.
Right.
Yeah.
How about you, Annie? Not getting, I know your dog passed a while back too, so no.
No.
Not for me either, although
Not for you. You too
we
busy.
keep talking about it.
Yeah.
I say, are you kidding? I mean, we're just now coming. Maybe it was good for the pandemic
Yeah,
in a
right.
year, but then after that year, what about all the
Right.
travel and all the stuff that we
Right.
have to do?
Yeah.
But I do, every time I see a cute little puppy,
I do. I agree with Paul. Every time I see a really cute puppy, I'm like, oh. And then, of course, Ed's in the background. Absolutely
Really? He's like
Well,
100%.
his thing is if we could get somebody to come and take care of it all day
Yeah,
long.
right. Because it is
You'd
work.
have to do that. You wouldn't want to have to,
Especially a puppy,
you'd
you
want
got
somebody to be
train
there.
it. And it's like, I don't feel like doing that right now. But so I thought we'd go visit and just get some love. And then we'll be okay.
Dana, you're going to come to us. You're going to have that puppy on the screen on Monday.
Oh, no.
Yeah, right.
First.
Well, if mom is alone
Yes,
and,
if she
and
wants to
capable,
now. Mhm.
it's a nice companion.
Yes, and that's what she misses because she is by herself, and Uno was her companion, and it gave her something to kind of do.
They say
Taking
it's
care of
really
him.
good for people that are alone.
Yeah,
An animal.
so if she wants to get one, like I say, joint custody, because it gets to visit over here, and then it gets to go back with her.
Joint custody.
Yes, joint
That's funny.
custody.
Well, that'd be nice.
Yeah, so we'll see what happens. She doesn't know that I'm taking her there, so this could either go well or bad. She could either like it or not. I'm not sure.
Sure. Well, you'll let us know.
I will let you know.
And after we get back on
Right.
full air, we'll talk about these dog breeds, and you can tell us which ones you think she might like. What was Uno?
Uno was a Bichon poodle, so he was like 15 pounds, like a Bijapoo. They call it.
I never heard of a Bichon.
You've seen them though.
Have
You've
I?
seen it, yeah.
I didn't know
Fluffy.
it.
They're very popular.
Yeah. And I think those dogs are very smart.
They are, and
Well,
they don't
poodles are
shed,
very
which
smart.
is. So we
Poodles are-
wanted a dog with no, shedding.
Yeah, don't worry. We'd have to get a hypoallergenic and
Mhm.
no shedding, and
Yeah.
I don't like yappers,
Yeah.
and long list of things. This is a Teach Music Week. We're wrapping it up through the end of, I guess, Sunday. Teach Music Week. I kept meaning to get Jimmy Vola on from Evola Music because they do a great job teaching music, and they always used to say, no matter what age you are, if you learn how to play the piano or whatever, get a music playing skill, it stays with you forever. And it's, I have always been envious of people who sit down at a piano and start playing it. I mean, as long as they're playing it well, not like I would play it when I fake it. Did I ever tell you that we had a marching band at Monroe Catholic Central High School, and we also had a concert band, and most of the same players in both. And when we learned one day, I'll never forget it. I think it was Brother Robert. I'm not sure. No, Brother Kenneth, the band director. We all found out that my dear departed friend, Patrick Murphy, had been faking playing the piano
What?
in the concert band. It was, none of us could believe it, but he got away with it for
Wow.
for a long while. And Brother Kenneth was directing, and he goes, "Wait,
Right.
stop. Murphy, play your part." And of course, no one else playing. He was supposed to play his part.
It's the WJR
Good old
Road
Patrick
Show
Murphy.
with Paul W. Smith. Today featuring Ford. This stop on the Road Show is presented
became a
by
lawyer, by the
Axalta,
way.
Aurea, Bridgestone, Continental Structural Plastics, and Lear. Here's Paul.
It's Friday.
Yay!
Oh, you can say that again.
Yay!
Well, thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Friday, March 19th, the 78th day of 2021. There are 287 days left in the year. Make each and every day count. Each day is a gift. Maria's back from the news and here, so it's clear for us to move straight ahead in our Paul W. Smith Show roundtable get-together. Thank you, Marie, for that. Dana Clark, all set for the traffic and weather, already reporting it. It's going to be a beautiful weekend. That's good news. Brian Morton in WJR Control 1, pressing all the right buttons. Mike Kim Smith in the southernmost part of Detroit, feeding information, keeping your eyes and ears open for the other stories that are happening as we speak. And of course, our executive producer, Ann Thomas. I was going to look over to the corner where you usually are, and you're on the other side right now. I don't know how the squares are decided, but it's fascinating to watch them. It's kind of like Hollywood squares.
Right.
Yeah.
Good morning, Deb. Happy Friday.
Happy Friday to you. I'll be Paul Lind.
I thought that was me.
All right, Dana, you be Paul Lind.
That's what you told me before.
I told you were Paul Lind?
Yes.
Well, that's a compliment because
I know.
I can't name any other squares. He's
like
the only one that comes to mind because he was always so good at it.
I'd like to be Phyllis Diller.
Oh, yes. That's
Were they on
perfect.
there together?
Yes.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, that would be good for you,
Who
Marie.
was the one that had the price tag hanging from her Mini Pearl?
Minnie Pearl. Yeah, the country
That's
western.
me. Yeah, Mini Pearl.
And, guys did that years later and didn't even realize they didn't know they were copying Minnie Pearl. They didn't know who Minnie Pearl was.
Mm-hmm.
But I remember that period of time when guys would wear baseball caps and leave the tag on.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
And you say, excuse me, did you know? Yes, I know.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, fine. I don't see that much anymore.
No, not as much.
Yeah.
Thank goodness.
Well, you could wear it for a season, and if your team didn't do well, you could take
Right.
it back.
There you go.
With a silver spring in it.
This is not a trick question, but this guy's been so successful. In 1962, Bob Dylan's first album titled, anybody know?
Like a Rolling Stone.
It would be a good one. That's not it.
I don't know that one.
No.
I suspect even back in 1962, it was very hard to understand what he was saying.
Right.
But the Bob Dylan's first album, released by Columbia Records on this day in 1962, was called Bob Dylan.
Oh,
There you go. Don't forget your dog breeds.
right.
Oh, thank you for that. God bless you for that. The dog breeds. I don't know, what did I just had it here. Oh, the most popular. Now it's an old story. Some of these dogs have already gone on to meet their maker. The most popular dog breeds of 2020.
Okay.
So I'm going to leave it open to you guys with your experience with dogs.
Miniature poodle.
I think I know this one.
Oh, you do?
Yeah, I think I do. Is it the French Bulldog? Is that the one that's taken number one, or is it close to number one?
It's very close.
Okay.
Number one.
Retriever. I'd like to weigh in with the golden
Okay.
retriever.
Golden retriever.
Golden Retriever is number 4 on the top 10 list. The French Bulldog is number 2. I do not see. I see poodles, but not miniature poodles, and that is there's a big difference.
Okay.
I love standard poodles.
Yeah.
I think that they're elegant,
Beautiful.
bright, and they used to protect the kings, so they must be pretty good at that.
Very smart dog. Are German short hair pointers on that list? That's my Beatrix.
Beatrix is popular. It's on the list. Made the top 10. Made the top 10.
Wow.
The German short-haired pointers are number 9 in the top 10 list. So, it's hard because a lot of people go to the pound and get dogs.
Yeah.
So, A, you don't know what it is, or B, you don't know what the mixture might be. So it's hard.
We got ours at a rescue.
And it was pure.
Yes, it was. There was a situation where someone could not keep her, so we knew she's actually a lab German Shorthair mix. So she's a mix of those two breeds, and she's a great dog.
It's fascinating the mixes they come up with.
Yes.
I mean, some of these mixes, there has to be a stepladder involved. Anyway, so what in the top 10, we were in France for the Paris Auto Show. Yeah, in France for the Paris Auto Show. And Billy Joel happened to be in a bar that all of us had retreated to after the broadcast. And, because the broadcast is later in the day there. It's not 5:30 to 9 in the morning or whatever it was. It was in the afternoon. We went into a bar at a fabulous hotel called the Crillon And in this little bar was Billy Joel. And he appeared to be hitting on a woman who, here's Billy Joel, and here's this woman. And I that stepladder thought came to my mind at that time. But anyway, wait a minute. Don't do this traffic. What's the number one dog? Anybody take a wild guess?
Labrador. Yeah.
Plain old Labrador retrievers.
Okay.
They didn't do any mixes here. So it would be good to do the mixes because the mixes are interesting. So number 1 is Labrador. Number 2, Marie, you had French Bulldogs. Number 3, German Shepherds. Number 4, somebody said Golden Retrievers. Number 5, Bulldogs. They've become pretty popular lately.
Yeah.
Number 6, Poodles. Number 7, Beagles are still in there.
Beagles.
Number 8, Rottweilers.
Oh.
Number 9, German short-haired pointers. And how about the Dachshund? Made it to number 10. The Dachshund.
That's a good list.
Yeah, it's a good list. It is 6:14. Oh, we're staying online on social media all morning long today. It is 6:14.
This report is sponsored by LifeLock Identity Theft Protection. Tax season can be a big headache if identity thieves steal personal info from your tax forms. LifeLock helps protect, monitor, and restore your identity. No one can monitor all transactions at all businesses, but you can save up to 25% off your first year at LifeLock.com. Promo code RISK.
I'm sneezing now. I have 2 more sneezes to come here. It's from the dogs, I'm sure.
You're allergic.
At 6:15, let's check our WJR traffic and weather first. Dana.
Traffic First, sponsored by the Construction Association of Michigan. CAM has been helping commercial and industrial contractors and suppliers grow since 1885. Now is the time to join the most powerful network of construction professionals in the state, the Construction Association of Michigan. Learn more at buildwithcam.com. That's buildwithcam.com. That accident 94 westbound at the Southfield Freeway is clear. Now, WJR Weather First from the Weather Channel, sponsored by Reamer Floors. The Reamer Floors 75-hour anniversary savings event is here. Save up to 40% on new flooring for your home. Save on top brands like Karastan carpet, hardwood, or waterproof flooring for 75 hours only. Wednesday through Saturday at Reamer Floors on Telegraph, 1 mile north of Square Lake.
Maybe a little cloud around with a gusty northeast wind this morning. That clouded your way to sunshine if you're not in it yet. And look at that sunshine at about 48 today. Tonight, clear, cold, 26. Suburbs might be even colder, maybe some upper teens in spots. Kick off the weekend Saturday with sunshine, 55. Sunday, first day of spring, sunny, low 60s. From the Weather Channel, meteorologist Ray Stagik on News Talk 760 WJR.
Oh, he said Sunday, first day of spring. He means first full day of spring because spring arrives Saturday. Spring arrives tomorrow. Pretty early in the morning, if I'm not mistaken, isn't it? It's like
I'll check for you.
5:57. I don't know. I think it's pretty early in the morning, but the first full day of spring, he's correct by saying Sunday. And both days are going to be very nice. 29 degrees right now on this Friday, March 19th. And boy, don't I know it from staying up late last night for our Spartans, and it didn't turn out well. They lost. UCLA beat them in overtime, 86-80, in a game. You can say this about almost every game, every team, but this is a game the Spartans should have won. It is tournament time, and with so many games going on, who wants to bet just one? That's why I love betting parlays on FanDuel. It's a great way to combine bets from different games for an even bigger win. And guess what? FanDuel is here to help if your parlay doesn't go as planned. They'll give you up to $25 back in site credit if your parlay of 3 legs or more falls 1 leg short. That's 1 parlay per day, each day of the tournament, for new and existing users. This is a great opportunity for you as a new or existing user. And of course, that is why FanDuel is America's #1 sportsbook app. They're always hooking us up. The app is so easy to use, many bet options to choose from, and always exclusive, always on promotions. And when you win, you'll get paid in as little as 24 hours. If you've been thinking about signing up, now is the perfect time to give it a shot. Just download the FanDuel Sportsbook app and sign up with promo code Paul W. Paul W, one word, so they know that I sent you. That's FanDuel Sportsbook, promo code Paul W.
Purchase necessary. Restrictions apply for $1 million drawing. Risk-free offer for first online real money wager only. Site credit is non-withdrawable and expires in 14 days. Restrictions apply. See full terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problems? Call 1-800-270-7117 for confidential help.
With a lineage of
Spring arrives at 5:37 tomorrow morning.
So it is in the 5 o'clock hour, early in the morning.
5:37, yes.
Beautiful.
I will be backstage if you need anything. Sean, I'm assuming that you know that we're going to run Paul's interview here for Opportunity Detroit. And I think you probably have some Ford B-roll too. So I will step out of the way and let you do your thing.
The toughest pickup truck box available. A next-generation electric vehicle battery case or the complete body of a world-class performance car. Continental Structural Plastics is going beyond expectations to reduce vehicle weight, improve performance, and enhance design flexibility. Infinite possibilities powered by science. Brought to you by Continental Structural Plastics, a Tajin Group company. Learn more at cspplastics.com.
Hi, I'm Macomb County Executive Mark Hackle. If you're a Macomb County resident age 60 and over and are looking to get the COVID-19 vaccine, I encourage you to contact SMART to get registered. The Macomb County Health Department has teamed up with SMART to better serve our seniors, and we will provide a ride for those who need it. If you're a resident 60 years of age and over, or know someone who is, please call 586-421-6579 or simply visit macombgov.org.
The market is constantly changing. The Marketplace Minute keeps you up to date 1 minute at a time. When you're getting the kids off to school.
Alexa, play Marketplace Minute. Operators file for bankruptcy.
Just before the Zoom meeting.
Hey Siri, play Marketplace Minute.
Says it's been spending more on hiring workers.
When your day is done.
Hey Google, play the Marketplace Minute. Upward swings and indices in Europe and Asia.
The Marketplace Minute, a podcast and smart speaker briefing updated 3 times daily. Ask your smart speaker to play the Marketplace Minute. Listen on Apple Podcasts or wherever you get your shows.
You're hearing the Paul W. Smith Show. News Talk 760 WJR.
Building on 2 decades of global experience, including as a diplomat at the State Department and as a senior Obama official, Julie Egan launched Salons to perform a different kind of diplomacy, one aimed at bringing people of eclectic backgrounds together over food and art to tackle tough conversations with diverse partners to inspire change and build collaborations. My goodness, Julie, you have tackled a big deal, a big issue.
Well, that's very kind. It's wonderful to be with you today.
It's wonderful to have you here. While at the State Department, Julie executed diplomatic ventures as varied as entrepreneurship, diplomacy, hip-hop diplomacy, food diplomacy. She helped launch President Obama's Global Entrepreneurship Summit, which has brought together over 30,000 entrepreneurs, investors, innovators in 8 countries, and authored the first U.S. regional foreign policy in North Africa to include government CEOs and young entrepreneurs. I don't know how you follow up with that on all those things with what you're going to do now, but I know you're doing it.
Well, thank you. I think I've been really fortunate to have a really exciting career. And I'm also really fortunate to be able to come home to Detroit to continue my work. And just, as a note on my background, one of the reasons I find myself back in Detroit is because I'm actually a proud 4th generation Detroiter.
Wow.
So, yes. And so that's really also, I've had all these wonderful global opportunities, and we'll talk a little bit about that because one of the things we're trying to do with Salons is now connect Detroit and Detroiters to global opportunities in different ways. But, where it all began is, my great-grandparents, my grandparents, my father, and myself were all born on Detroit's east side. My great-grandfather on my father's side owned, they both owned businesses on the east side, a snuff company and a bar, among other things. Graduated from local high schools, my father's still here, a successful entrepreneur. And on my mother's side, just across the border as another type of international relationship, my mother's family is from Canada. And, we come from a family of farmers. We have a family homestead in Canada that goes back to the early 1800s. So I like to tell people that my work really, in the very beginning, has been very influenced by my family background and our connection to food, entrepreneurship, and also Detroit.
Well, I love the background. I love the history in Detroit and the family story. But let's start at the beginning of this conversation with what exactly Salonier means.
Right. So people ask me this a lot because it's not an English word and it has a very rich history. But the word salonière is a French word that means the woman who holds salons. And I chose this name for a few reasons. One, because the history of salons is very much a woman-led movement, and I think we'll talk more about that. But also for its ties to Detroit's French history. And on a personal note, which was important for me, it's a tribute to my grandmother, my maternal grandmother, whose mother tongue was French.
Well, since you say we're going to talk about it, we are talking about it right now with its ties to Women's History Month, for goodness sakes. Share a little of that history of the name.
Right. So to start kind of in the beginning, people often ask, what is a salon? It's not a term that everyone runs into in their daily life. So a salon is essentially a conversational gathering in an intimate setting over food and drink. And the history of salons, they really were led by trailblazing women around the world from many different places, from Cairo to Buenos Aires to Berlin to Harlem, going back to the 5th century. And these salons were significant because they very much influenced the cultural and political trends of their times, kind of like you're doing in Detroit today, but this was, a different time. But they were called salons because they were held in living rooms, which in French, the word for living room is salon. And so this is where the concept, the name came from. But these gatherings were held in the homes of women who were often married to influential men and didn't have their own individual standing in society, but they used their proximity to power to create these salons in their homes where they would invite the leading voices and artists and intellectual leaders of the time. And these became kind of underground meeting places that very much influenced many sort of cultural and intellectual movements, and also, frankly, became informal universities for women. So I like to give a little bit of background because it's so interesting to me. I mean, many people associate the salon with in the Enlightenment period in France or Picasso and Gertrude Stein, but like many Eurocentric views of the world, this isn't accurate. The earliest salons go back to sort of the 5th century on the African continent, in Cairo in particular, but then later in Syria.
It's certainly fascinating. We're speaking with Julie Egan, the founder of Salonier. Tell us a bit about your recent cultural series at the Shinola Hotel and the Art and Activism campaign and Art to Table series. Just a little bit of it before we run out of time.
Well, sure. Well, this was a very special project. We were fortunate enough to partner with we've been working with Chef Andrew Carmelini and NoHo Hospitality, and then more recently the Shinola Hotel. And Sam Morello hosted an art salon during Detroit Homecoming, where a number of notable Detroit artists presented their work. But a very important feature of the salon was we worked with the Department of Fine Arts of Detroit Public Schools to select students from geographically disparate high schools in Detroit to create and present an original artwork at the salon that spoke to their feelings about art and activism during 2020. And so each student received a $500 art supply scholarship. They sold their artworks for the first time, and we created a series of digital downloads of their work. And the sale of that work benefited Detroit Public Schools fine arts programs during COVID-19. So it was a wonderful initiative of Sam Morello and the Shinola Hotel. And then we also worked with Chef Carmelini and one of the featured artists, Desiree Kelly, to create a month-long special menu at San Morello that was inspired by a specific work of art by Desiree. So that hence the Art to Table moniker.
Well, you can find out more about what Julie Egan is a part of as the founder of Salonier, and you can go to www.salonnier.com. IERE.co. And get more information. And Julie, thanks for sharing all of that with us.
Well, thanks for allowing me to join the conversation.
We will continue that on the Paul W. Smith Show at WJR.
This report is sponsored by MGM Grand Detroit, where you can win big in March. Welcome back to MGM Grand Detroit, where you can win big and do it more safely. Just last month, over $13 million in jackpot winnings were paid out. Visit MGM Grand Detroit, and you could be the next big winner. Must be 21 plus. Grand times ahead at MGM Grand Detroit.
All righty, let's check it for you. By the way, that Julie Egan was all about our Opportunity Detroit for this weekend. Time and day may be varying due to basketball, but with Michigan State out, I'm not sure if that's still the case. So Ann will fill us in on that coming up here. Meanwhile, let's check it. Our WJR Traffic and Weather First and Dana Clark.
Traffic First, sponsored by Primetime Testing Laboratory. For over 20 years, they have been offering complete automotive testing services, guaranteeing on-time delivery and accurate result reporting to OEMs, Tier 1 and Tier 2 suppliers. For your next automotive project, get a free quote at primetimetestinglab.com. That's primetimetestinglab.com. Accident-free at the moment, no delays. Let's talk about construction that is happening. That will start, actually, it's underway now. Big Beaver, both directions between Troy Center Drive and Livernois. All lanes are closed under 75 until 6 p.m. on Monday. You can take Maple or Waddles instead. Now, WJR Weather First from the Weather Channel, sponsored by Window World. Call Window World. 1-800-NEXT-WINDOW for your window, door, or siding project. Get 0% financing for 60 months. Window World is America's largest exterior replacement remodeler and a trusted team partner of WJR's Inside Outside Guys. Call 1-800-NEXT-WINDOW or visit windowworlddetroit.com. A great weekend ahead, sunshine each day, and temps getting warmer. We leap into spring on Saturday. So sunshine today, high of 47. Tonight, clear skies, low 26. First day of spring on Saturday, sunshine, 55 the high, 62 on Sunday, under sunny skies. Clear skies, 29 degrees. I'm Dana Clark. WJR News with Marie Osborne is coming up.
Did you know that manufacturing is within the top 3 in?
I see 5 a.m. 5 a.m. Saturday for Op Detroit and 1 p.m. Sunday. So 2 times this weekend.
5 a.m.
Saturday, 1 p.m. Sunday. I'm checking with Brian. I think that sounds right, unless he comes back and says, "Well, basketball will change everything." But
we are carrying other games.
Yes,
Oh.
we're carrying a lot of games. I think a ton of them, NCAA games, and I'm pretty sure we're carrying the Michigan game.
I hope so. That'd be great. If we're going to carry any games, obviously we'd want to also carry the
Definitely.
Michigan game.
Yeah, but there was a conversation. Brian says they don't have a weekend schedule, but Mike did email me saying 5 a.m. Saturday, 1 p.m. Sunday. So we're going to go with that for now.
All right. And the rescheduled now twice, I think, maybe the third time, at least twice, our WJR Travel Club group, WJRTravelClub.com for details. The Budapest to Prague on the Uniworld River Cruise, fabulous company. I just asked Kim about this the other day, and she told me, I'm trying to remember. I think it's October 10th. Does that ring a bell?
Mm-hmm. Yep. I can look real quick.
Because when I look in I still have it for May in my calendar. I haven't changed it.
It is, I know it's October. Let's just look here.
10th to the...
Well, it starts on the website. It says October 16th through the 26th. But
that sounds right. But there's maybe travel days.
There's some travel days
on either side, especially because of a deal they're offering.
Yes, so people can also add on to that deal. Number one. Right. Number two, you are leaving a little bit before that. Let me see. I have it on my calendar. You are going on October 13th. Your trip starts on October 13th.
I have to check with Kim, who's listening in, if we have that booked yet. I don't know.
Something to look forward to, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm telling you, I couldn't be more ready to travel.
I know, me too.
I'm just ready to get away.
I know.
I hope that by October we can do that. And the reason this is coming up is because Charlie Krull and the people at Cruise and Tour that do such a good job with this, they already have the 2022 trip.
Oh.
And dates that I can't announce yet. But
okay.
It made me think about that, at least a last call for anybody who wants to do the Budapest to Prague, October 16th through the 26th. I've always wanted to see Budapest and Prague, so this is kind of exciting.
Yeah, hopefully it'll go through. I bet it will. As these vaccines are ramping up, I bet it will. That'd be so great. We should tell Marie to pop on here. I'll tell her to pop on.
We'll talk about dates for travel today, and I'll book it. Well, Kim, you'll book it, but you'll book it with Cruise and Tour, I would presume. We fly Delta whenever possible. We want to support what I call our hometown airline. I don't know. She sent me something from USA Today. I don't know if it's the basketball schedule for today. I'm not sure what that is. Anyway, we'll talk later.
So technically, March Madness starts today. Like they have until noon today to fill out their brackets.
I honestly thought Michigan State was going to kill last night because Tom was so upset with this walk-in or the whatever they called what they were in yesterday. Play-in. They were upset that they were picked to do play-in. And so I thought he was going to come back. They were going to come back and annihilate UCLA because they were going to prove they shouldn't have been a play-in.
And in the first half, that's what it looked like.
Yeah.
I have no idea what happened.
Not good. Not good. Sad. Unfortunate.
Yeah.
Yeah. By the way, my little side thing where the private chat and the comments is cut off. It's just half of it. It doesn't, like, I can't finish.
Can you click on it and roll up?
Right. He was waiting blank, don't know what it is. Maybe waiting for MSU results to put it out publicly.
Yes, that's right. He was waiting for.
I don't know why it's not giving me. Oh God! Now that something else has come up, I got to get rid of that. There we go.
Click on it and see if you can scroll up.
Well, I can scroll up, but I'm saying it's not wide enough on my screen. I'm meaning the last lines of sentences are gone. That's never happened before. I wonder if I can't expand it.
Sean, can you weigh in on that?
So like where it says sign up for free at the top, it says sign up for FR half an E.
Oh,
but just cutting off the last parts of words.
Anyway,
it's not that important because you guys are also informing me through texting, which is a good backup. Do them both when you need me to do a commercial or whatever we've got coming up next.
Okay.
Yeah, there's okay. All right, that's our talk about. Whoops. Okay, so when to get back, I'll mention that. So Riri is here, but I don't think we're not back yet.
You're going to be back shortly here. You should be back fairly soon.
8787. Now WJR Health Watch. Here's Dick Hafner.
Want some better medical news? Death rates for children are down for about everything. And for coronavirus,
except for the rare obese adolescent, seem to be the patient that would come to Children's Hospital Michigan or
now.
Pardon me?
What's that?
State, Michigan State, are they out now?
They're out.
Fini. Okay.
Yeah, it's one and done.
Now Michigan basketball will play Texas Southern in the first round.
Right.
When is that?
That is what I'm trying to find right now.
I have it in my report earlier today from the network.
I think I have it. I think that's what Kim's trying to tell me, that it's listed in USA Today.
The Times?
The Times, and like they must have a bracket or something.
Yeah, hang on a minute. But we will definitely be carrying many, many, many of these games.
We will, huh?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Okay.
Who do we have the arrangement with?
Westwood One.
Ah.
Oh.
Also owned by our company.
Yeah.
Okay, here's a bracket. Let me see here. There's too many of them.
Michigan takes on Texas Southern at 3:00 tomorrow afternoon.
Okay.
And we'll be getting a schedule
By
from
pandemic
Big Red
catastrophe,
today.
the lower childhood deaths from all causes is a welcome change. I'm Dick Hafner for WJR Health Watch.
Welcome back to the WJR Road Show with Paul W. Smith. Today featuring Ford. This stop on the Road Show is presented by Axalta, Aurea, Bridgestone, Continental Structural Plastics, and Lear. Once again, Paul W. Smith.
And Sean, thank you for putting up the screen so I can see that. We thank our wonderful sponsors, Lear Corporation, Continental Structural Plastics, Bridgestone, Aurea, Axalta, making it possible for us to do these special broadcasts where we would generally be at Ford Motor Company today. We are virtually putting them in the spotlight. And there's a lot to talk about at Ford, especially the news of this week of the changes in their hybrid scheduling of their employees, because we know that this is going to happen for a lot of our companies where the scheduling and the office situation is going to be completely changed due to the pandemic. For some, they'll feel like it's for the better. For others, they'll say we miss the old office environment. But I'm enjoying doing the show from home. Marie, are you enjoying doing the show from home?
I have to be honest and say, yes, I do. I really do miss seeing you guys in person, though. I think we do miss seeing each other.
Well, we don't, but we don't get to hang around because we see each other while we're working. And we get off at 9, so it's not like the staff is around and we can mix with people. People are just kind of just arriving when we're leaving, basically.
Yeah. Well, I'm there a little longer, so I do see more of the staff. But yeah, you kind of miss that. You miss seeing the sales folks coming in and saying hi and what's up and all that. But I definitely enjoy working from home. I'm certainly putting in a lot more hours, and that's kind of it's been interesting in talking with other people. They're all saying the same thing,
Everybody's working more hours if they're working from home. There's no delineation anymore. There's no, you used to leave work and come home.
Right. And I think that's going to be one of the things in the future that employers will be taking a look at, maybe having dark times for people that, you are off the clock at this period of time, just so you can have some downtime with your family.
I think USA Today, I don't know for sure because it's hard for me to read that and pay attention and get into it deeply, but I think they may have gone to press assuming Michigan State was going to beat UCLA. They may have them in another bracket.
Oh, really?
Just with my glance, I saw Michigan State on the bottom of the bracket. So, if you watch the first half, I even thought, well, maybe I should go to bed because they're dominating. I'm glad I didn't. Well, kind of glad I didn't go to bed because it turned out to be UCLA 86, MSU 80 in overtime. And you can say it all the time in games, but it's truly true. Michigan State should have won, but they did not, sadly. And what a year they've had. And we'll have Tom Izzo on later with no sleep. And because he got in at about, he told me in an earlier text, he got in at like 3:30 or something like that, which would make sense. Wow, you stayed up. Yeah, I did. They got back after 3:30, and they had a meeting.
Wow.
So that's got to be a tough meeting after the final loss of the season.
Yeah, lots to unpack there for them.
Absolutely. It is 6:42 at WJR.
This report is sponsored by Exergen. Accuracy matters. Get a $5 rebate by trading up any non-contact thermometer toward an Exergen purchased at any retailer. Accuracy matters, especially when it comes to checking for a fever. Exergen's accuracy is backed by published, peer-reviewed clinical studies. Details at exergen.com.
Well, that's how tired I am. I wanted to ask Marie about this trip. Anyway, last call really for the Budapest to Prague Uniworld River Cruise. Rescheduled and then rescheduled because of the pandemic. We are hoping to go October 16th through the 26th. It's going to be a great trip. They've thrown in all kinds of inducements because you can imagine Uniworld and everybody wants people to get out there and travel again. Go to WJRTravelClub.com. WJRTravelClub.com. Some great opportunities for you to join us and fellow WJR listeners. And the Budapest to Prague Uniworld River Cruise, October 16th through the 26th. All right, the travel a little shorter distance right now out on the roadways. Our WJR Traffic and Weather First and Dana Clark.
It's looking great out there, Paul W. No reported accidents, no delays right now. Let's update you on some construction in Troy that is underway right now. Big Beaver, both directions between Troy Center Drive and Livernois. All lanes under 75 are shut down until 6 p.m. on Monday. You can try Maple or Waddles instead. Now, WJR Weather First from the Weather Channel, sponsored by Gordon Chevrolet. Gordon Chevrolet, where not only do you pick your payment, but now pick your program. Need to pull ahead your lease? Do you need GM employee pricing or a low payment with zero interest? Let Gordon Chevrolet help you find it. Ford Road, just west of Merriman in Garden City. GordonChevrolet.com. Gordon Chevrolet, find new roads.
Pretty good looking and a better feeling forecast as we head through the next few days, up into the 60s by Sunday. Little cloud around, otherwise clearing sky and sunshine in today's forecast, 48 with a northeast breeze. Tonight clear, 26, suburbs colder. Saturday sunshine, 55. Sunday mainly sunny with a high in the low 60s. From a Weather Channel, I'm meteorologist Ray Stagicom, News Talk 760 WJR.
This is our great state of Michigan. We can have all the seasons all at once. 29 degrees right now, in the 60s the next couple of days as spring is coming our way in the 5 o'clock hour tomorrow morning. And I'm ready for it, and I'm sure you are too. We got a little tease, a little taste of it a week or two ago when we had 60 degrees at this hour in the morning. It was fabulous. Looking forward to it. But again, right now, 29 degrees. We've got Automotive Views at 6:45. Automotive Views, of course, with Jason Stein, publisher of Automotive News, and presented by Bo Anderson and his team at Yazaki. Yazaki, fully connected to vehicle electrification. Jason?
On the one-year anniversary of the COVID-related lockdown in the United States, one thing is emerging as a permanent change in life after the pandemic: the locations where people work. Just this week, Ford said some of its salaried employees will move to a new hybrid schedule that will continue to incorporate remote work. The automaker, which currently has about 30,000 employees in North America, said the decision was based on overwhelming interest in such a schedule during a June survey. GM plans to bring back its remote workforce in the summer, although some degree of work from home is likely to continue. Gone are the traditional days of office work. That element is clear. Team building and other staff meetings will be in person in the future. But the industry also believes there are more efficiencies in this new world. Designers, as one group, even think they are more creative at home. So what's the model going forward? One word: flexibility. With this week's Automotive View, I'm Jason Stein, publisher of Automotive News.
As the auto industry's reliance on internal combustion engines shifts to electric, electrification will be the foundation for any type of advanced mobility. And with more than 75 years of wire harness electrical and data solutions experience, Yazaki is your development partner for electric vehicles.
Good morning, Kirsten.
Good morning.
Hi there. Just wanted to double check your mic, make sure everything's all set on your end.
Can you hear me okay, Sean?
Yes, I can. You sound great.
Awesome.
Hi, Kirsten. It's
Good morning.
Paul. How are you?
I'm great, thanks.
Excellent. Nice to have you here with us.
Likewise, great to be with you.
Let's see here. We'll be on air. We're on air now, online, but we'll be on air on the radio and online here in just a moment. Just making some notes here.
You bet.
Z, Frankie. Zelensky. People excited around the coffee makers. If anyone's around the coffee makers, I'm sure all the buzz is about the big changes in the hybrid office, if you will. Sounds very exciting.
It seems to be really well received, actually, which is great. When you take a big decision like this, you want to make sure that it hits the mark. And so it's been really encouraging to hear our employees' feedback.
Where are you from?
Australia.
Isn't that something? What an international business the auto industry is, huh?
Yeah, it sure is. But Detroit's home now. So we've made Detroit our home. Really glad to be here.
How long have you been here?
I've been here for just over 10 years.
10? Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Great. Mm-hmm. Do you get back often to Australia?
Well, at the moment, unfortunately not.
Well, nobody's getting anywhere.
That's right.
Before
but we
all
try,
of this?
Yeah, we try to go back for the holidays every year.
That's
so
selling Chrysler Dodge Jeep
it's
Ram
get to
in
see
Roseville, Chelsea, and
grandparents,
Greenfield
those
Hills,
sorts of things.
and online at
How long a
Galling.com.
flight is that?
It's a killer. It's over.
Welcome back to the WJR Road Show with Paul W. Smith.
Yeah.
Today featuring Ford. This
things
stop
we
on
do
the
for
road
love.
show is presented by Axalta, Aurea, Bridgestone, Continental Structural Plastics, and Lear. Once again, Paul W. Smith.
Well, this is a beautiful morning and a great final day of winter with the spring officially arriving. The vernal equinox tomorrow morning in the 5 o'clock hour. At 6:49 right now, we have 29 degrees. So we'll remember this because we're going to hit in the 60s over the weekend. It is such a different time because of the pandemic and a lot of things in general. There are going to be some big changes at Ford Motor Company, some really, I think, pretty good ones that will foretell how a lot of businesses are going to be operating from this day forward or from the post-pandemic forward. And the fact that there is at Ford Motor Company a position that didn't exist, I promise you, 10 years ago, called Ford Chief People and Employee Experiences Officer. We're happy to welcome Kirsten Robinson to the Paul W. Smith Show. Kirsten, good morning.
Good morning, Paul. It's great to be with you.
Well, it's great to have you here. And let's face it, I don't want to say something bad like, most of the time the bosses and the businesses don't really care what our experience is. They want us to get there on time and do our job. But the world has changed, hasn't it?
It sure has. We've learned so much in the last 12 months. And so if ever there was a silver lining to this pandemic, I think it has really served us as an accelerator in thinking about how we can work differently.
And work more efficiently and work in a way that you don't get these opportunities very often where we, the employees, get to, in this case, help the employer set up working conditions that we really prefer. Tell us about this hybrid work schedule, because it's been all over the news.
Yeah, absolutely. And so it is a big shift for us. And first of all, I want to thank, we've had over 100,000 employees globally who are place dependent, who have come into the work every day over the last 12 months and done a terrific job of following our safety protocols and demonstrating that they work. And so they've taught us a lot and they've shared their feedback very openly. And we've used that together with feedback from our non-place dependent workforce to actually shape.
Which, by the way, is an expression we never had a year ago.
That's right. Who would have thought,
place
right?
dependent, non-place dependent.
That's right. That's right. And so the key is that we've learned from them. We've learned around how we can think about more flexibility and what it means to do work in different locations, or even think about how work gets done through using technology. But also, as you said, the importance of the employee experience and what a workplace actually looks like and what the purpose of a workplace is.
We're understanding, and you'll correct us on this, that the office as we know it, even if you're place dependent and you have to be there at the glass house or whatever, that the office as we know it is going away.
The workplace is definitely being transformed. And the way in which we're thinking about it is designing a workplace and a workspace that's conducive to much more collaborative and innovative types of work. There will definitely still be me space. So when you need privacy or you just need that time to think and soak without a lot of distraction, that space will still exist. but a lot of our space is actually being redesigned to support more team-based and collaborative types of work.
So I guess maybe I'm using the wrong terminology, but a long time ago, people stopped having their own office. I mean, unless you're up at the upper levels, it was our own cubicle. But even the cubicle is being changed. And the fact is, you could come in and your workspace may not be the one you were in yesterday or the one you'll be in tomorrow. So the first thing I thought of, because I carry around a bag full of so much stuff, even though I have an office. So people are going to have to learn how to be very efficient in carrying their notebook or their computer or whatever else they need, because every time they go into the office, they will be putting that down, setting up their shop in a different place.
Yeah, so for many, their main office base, if you like, will be at home. So their briefcase with all their papers and all of their books and those sorts of things, in all likelihood, will be at home. And when they come into the workplace, it's for that purpose, for just that day. And so you're right, this notion of coming back to the same desk every day, we're not going to see so much of that anymore. And instead, the desk that you have or the project team room that you go to may vary depending on the nature of the work that you're doing.
So I just picture somebody opening their briefcase and taking that family picture and putting it on the all the things. You know, it's always interesting to see what people have on their desk, especially when we do these StreamYard or Zoom conversations. People work very hard on having all their books in place in the bookshelf and all this stuff, and all of that's going to change drastically. The little collectibles that you might have had on your desk.
Your tchotchkes, yeah,
tchotchkes. You're going to get tired of carrying those around from desk to desk. But this is based on input you've had from people. There are a lot of people. I like working from home. I mean, it's just easier, and the quality is just as good, if sometimes not better. So, and that's what you found at Ford Motor Company.
It is. So throughout the last 12 months, we've been checking in with our employees, doing surveys with them every 1 to 2 weeks to hear what their experience has been, both what's working and what's not working. And what they've shared with us is the overwhelming majority would like some form of flexibility, and many really enjoy working from home. But there are some who are getting lonely. They miss their workmates. They want to come in and see everyone. And so having this flexibility where employees get to choose where and how their work gets done, I think is really important and definitely responsive to the feedback that they've shared.
I love the fact that there's yet another word I had not heard before, hotelification.
Yeah.
Am I even saying it right? Hotelification.
We could have a whole bingo game on all the new words, right?
Explain that concept.
Yeah, well, it's very much what you just described. So if I've got to go into the workplace on Monday, and half my day is going to be in a project team room, but the other half of my day, I just need to spend some time at my computer doing email or crunching through some individual work, then I would book in a space. I would book in a project team room for myself and my 10 workmates. And then I would also book in a hoteling or a hotelification desk, which is a general desk that I would get allocated for the period of time that I would need it. So I could go plug in my computer, charge my phone, do all those sorts of things and get my work done.
It's a new world, isn't it? You've been here from Australia, Kirsten, for 10 years.
That's right.
I know that you haven't had this job for 10 years because it didn't exist 10 years ago. How long have you been with Ford?
For 25 years.
Oh, my goodness. Good for you. Good
Thanks
for
so
you.
much, Paul.
So you were there when that other Australian was there, Jack
I
Master.
was. That's right. That's right. You've got a great memory.
You two probably got together just so you could talk Australian to each other.
No, that would be fun.
Kirsten, thank you so much.
Thanks so much, Paul.
It's great meeting you. Kirsten Robinson, Ford Chief People and Employee Experiences Officer at the new and ever evolving and changing Ford Motor Company, leading the way in the way most of us will probably be going back to work in the days ahead, because we're featuring Ford Motor Company today as we do our virtual presentation of what's happening in the auto industry on these Fridays. We appreciate this time with you on the WJR Paul W. Smith Show Road Show at 6:58.
This report is sponsored by LifeLock Identity Theft Protection. Tax season can be a big headache if identity thieves steal personal info from your tax forms. LifeLock helps protect, monitor, and restore your identity. No one can monitor all transactions at all businesses, but you can save up to 25% off your first year at lifelock.com. Promo code RISK.
I know they speak English in Australia. That was the joke. They've got their own, I think, wonderful accent, and I remember it from the Jack Nasser days. A good Lebanese boy raised in Australia, who's doing fine, by the way, since he left the auto industry. 6:58, we've got WJR Traffic and Weather First and Dana Clark.
Traffic First sponsored by Primetime Testing Laboratory. Interior trim, load floors, instrument panels, armrests, front end systems, exterior trim. If it's in or on the car, Primetime tests it. They are the automotive industry's most accurate result reporting and guarantee on-time delivery for your next automotive project. Get a free quote at primetimetestinglab.com. That's primetimetestinglab.com. Disabled vehicle along the Southfield Freeway northbound at the Lodge. It is blocking that ramp. Now, WJR Weather First from the Weather Channel, sponsored by Window World. Call Window World at 1-800-NEXT-WINDOW for your window, door, or siding project. Get 0% financing for 60 months. Window World is America's largest exterior replacement remodeler and a trusted team partner of WJR's Inside Outside Guys. Call 1-800-NEXT-WINDOW or visit windowworlddetroit.com. Lots of sunshine this weekend. Spring on Saturday. Today's high 47. Tonight, clear skies, 26. Spring is in effect on Saturday, sunny, high 55, and then more sun on Sunday, hitting 62. Clear skies, 29 degrees. I'm Dana Clark, WJR News with Marie Osborne in 1 minute.
Stay on the right track to 9 Mile and Mac. Roy O'Brien Trucks and Cars, make your money back.
It's March, the month where everyone is Irish and everyone gets a great deal on a new Ford at Roy O'Brien Ford. Check out the full Ford lineup, including Bronco Sport and Mustang Mach-E at 9 Mile and Mac, celebrating our 75th anniversary with extra savings for you.
Roy O'Brien, that's the best dealer around.
Do Michelle's Thursday and Friday, March 25th and 26th auctions feature more treasures from the collection of Michigan Senator Jack Faxon and many other prominent estates. Preview fine and decorative art in person or in the comfort of your home by viewing their video at auctiondetroit.com. Exceptional paintings, sculptures, mid-century and period furniture, rugs, African and native art, Tiffany, Pewabic, and more. Visit auctiondetroit.com. Preview today across from the Renaissance Center. Do Michelle's, a Detroit tradition since 1927.
It was very important to feel like a company valued me and my family's time, specifically helping get the timeshare company off of our backs.
Do all the good you can, by all the means you can, and all the ways you can. I'm Chuck McDowell, CEO and founder of Wesley Financial Group. I first heard that John Wesley quote when I was 11 years old in Sunday school. I even have his words displayed at all of our offices to give our employees the same purpose I have when fighting to get clients out of a fraudulent timeshare.
If you were not satisfied with other companies, look directly to Wesley Financial and they will help you.
I promise we'll do all the good we can every single day. That's why I guarantee we will cancel your timeshare or you'll pay nothing.
Call for your free information kit. 800-743-8989. 800-743-8989. 800-743-8989.
WJR Detroit and WDVD HD2 Detroit. 760 WJR, where Detroit comes to talk.
President Biden announcing that the U.S. will reach his goal of 100 million shots in his first 100 days today, 58 days into his administration. The president pointing out that's a week ahead of schedule. But while the Biden administration has ramped up the distribution of the vaccine, nearly doubling the number of shots given to states each week, the U.S. was already roughly vaccinating about 1 million Americans a day under President Trump when President Biden took office. President Biden said he'll announce another goal for his vaccinations. That'll happen today when he visits Atlanta. Growing concerns about the numbers here in Michigan. The latest release from the Michigan Health Department confirming that there were 2,629 new cases of the virus, 25 more deaths. And Wednesday's figures were the 3,164. That's new cases. That's the highest total reported in the last 2 months. Michigan had the 5th highest rate of new cases in the country over the last week. Health officials are repeating warnings that people need to stay vigilant. And during a discussion of the Big Four leaders of Metro Detroit, Oakland County Executive Dave Coulter said the community as a whole is seeing a light at the end of the coronavirus tunnel, but it is far from over yet.
The tunnel that we're in is still very dangerous. And so I want to encourage everyone to understand that for the next 30 or 45 days, I think we're still in a very serious point in this pandemic until we can get to that immunity. And we've got to be very diligent over the next month or so to get these numbers back down to where we need them to be.
For the first time in over a year, prisoners will be able to receive visitors. And the Michigan Department of Corrections suspending in-person visits last March because of the pandemic. The idea of a committee to investigate the Capitol riots on January 6th has stopped before it even got started.
The country is no closer to understanding the causes and security failures of the January 6th attack on the Capitol because Republicans and Democrats can't even agree on how to investigate it. Plans to form a 9/11 style commission broke down after House Speaker Nancy Pelosi submitted a draft bill giving Democrats 7 appointees and Republicans only 4. Republicans also sounded off about the scope of the investigation, claiming language in the bill predetermined conclusions about the threat of domestic extremism and didn't allow for additional scrutiny over similar political violence like the riots that caused an estimated $1 billion in damage to cities across America last summer. Democrats believe broadening the scope would hamper the commission's ability to draw real conclusions about the specific attack on the Capitol.
And that is Fox's Jackie Heinrich. The first 4 play-in games are in the books for the NCAA tournament, highlighted by an overtime showdown between basketball powerhouses.
UCLA took down Michigan State 86-80. The Bruins earning the 11th seed in the East region of the bracket, and they'll face BYU this weekend. For the first time since 1971, Drake is advancing in the tournament, holding off Wichita State 53-52. They're going to take on USC Saturday. Texas Southern became the first school in the history of the first 4 to win multiple times, defeating Mount St. Mary 60-52. The Tigers will be taking on Michigan next, and their fellow HBCU Norfolk State is off to face Gonzaga after hanging on in first 4 action to beat Appalachian State 54-53. Matt Napolitano, Fox News.
Checking the world markets this morning, China Nikkei closing down. The London is down right now. The futures are.
Hey, Dubster.
Yes, ma'am.
We carried 2 games tonight. The first one, they run back to back, but they start at 8 o'clock. The question is, I don't know. From this schedule, I can't tell which 2 we are carrying.
Okay, so it doesn't much matter
Doesn't
then.
help you if I don't find out. Let me see if I can get to Nick and ask him which ones, and then I'll let you know at some point here. And then Marie will pop back in. Oh, I see her now. Sean, there's Marie. Okay, great.
All righty.
Let me figure this out.
Son of a gun, I had a story here from Great Britain and the vaccination. I don't know where it went. Hi, Riri.
Hi there.
I want to talk about the growing cases of COVID-19 in Michigan.
Yeah. Yeah, the only thing I see out of Great Britain here is that
I just had it here and I sadly lost it.
Restaurant
Oh,
of
here
the
it is.
week.
I found it.
Visit marygrove.com for more delicious details.
Know your risk factor for heart attack and stroke.
What is it?
Tune in Sundays at 3 to News Talk 760 WJR to hear about the latest diagnostic
Can't hear you. What was that?
What is the story?
It's the one jab.
What is the story?
It's the one jab approach, where we said if you got one shot, you had to get the second shot within a certain period of time. they're not doing that. They're just trying to get the needle in the arms of as many people as possible and delaying the second shot, which we've been told by the manufacturers of the vaccine means it's not as effective.
Every drive better. To learn more, visit Lear.com.
It's the WJR Road Show with Paul W. Smith. Today featuring Ford. This stop on the Road Show is presented by Axalta, Aurea, Bridgestone, Continental Structural Plastics, and Lear. Here's Paul.
We thank all of those sponsors very, very much, and we're proud to be talking about Ford Motor Company today. Every Friday, we've taken on a different company to feature. In this segment of this month, it's all the automotives at this point. I mean, all the companies we're featuring are automotive. Ford Motor Company today, and we appreciate the relationship we have with Ford Motor Company and have had for nearly 100 years, matter of fact. On this Friday, March 19th, the 78th day of 2021 with 287 days left in the year. And make each and every day count. Each day is a gift. It certainly is. And Marie Osborne is sitting here with me, and I was just going over this story based on what she was just talking about in the news, that there's a growing concern over the growing number of cases of COVID now in Michigan after doing so well for so long. What's going on?
Well, there's really not much of an explanation as to why this is happening. There is some degree of blame that is being put on these new variants that are spreading way faster than the original COVID-19. Michigan had the 5th highest rate of new cases in the country over the last week. That is pretty concerning. And Wednesday's figures of 3,164, we talked about this on Wednesday. We hadn't seen figures that high since August of last year. So there are some big concerns here about why this is happening. Don't know.
The global leaders in COVID-19 vaccination rates are first. Number one is Israel, small little country that has their act together for things like this, and they've proven that. Israel, then the United Arab Emirates. After them come a handful of countries that have each given between 30 and 45 shots for every 100 residents, including the United States, Britain, Bahrain, Chile, and Serbia. But these handful of countries have followed two different strategies. Of course, in the U.S., as I mentioned, and most others have tried to make sure that anybody who gets the first vaccine shot gets the second shot within a few weeks, except for, of course, the Johnson & Johnson, which is a one-shot deal. But Britain has gone against the grain and instead maximized the number of people who receive one jab, as they call it, and has delayed the second jab often for about 3 months. So it's fascinating that they're going against the prescribed way to use it, but are having great success and are now being lauded for just doing the one shot and waiting as much as 3 months so they can make sure they get more people with that first shot than the people that generally would have a few weeks later, 3 weeks later, maybe gotten the second shot.
Right.
Interesting.
Once you get the first shot, your second shot needs to be accounted for, right? It needs to be, they need to know that you're going to be coming back for that. So that shot has to be accounted for. And like you said, in Great Britain, some people will not have to go back for their second jab again, as they say in Great Britain, until September, which, according to everything that I've read, here in the States, they don't think that first dose is quite enough to keep you protected, but Britain is going against that.
That's what the people who made the vaccines say. So, but again, it's kind of like the Wild West in dealing with this.
Yes.
All the way around. So
yes,
we salute anybody who can make it happen so that they are making their people as safe as they possibly can, as many of them as quickly as they can. Time will tell if that's really going to work out the way it should. 7 to 12 at 7:60, we've got our WJR Business Beat with Jeff Sloan, founder and CEO of Startup Nation, to spotlight the entrepreneurial tech and startup community on WJR. Morning, Jeff.
Good morning, Paul. Well, if you're an entrepreneur hunting and scrapping for another good sale from your customer base, you must engage and reward those customers to get their attention and to get them to act. As we know, the most popular and some would say most effective form of incentives to offer your customers in order to get their attention, well, it's discounts, of course. But interestingly, other factors are beginning to become more meaningful and effective today, thereby mitigating the need to depend on costly discounts to drive customer engagement. A new study known as the Digital Consumer Trends Index 2021, conducted by Cheetah Digital in conjunction with eConsultancy, has just been released, and the findings are enlightening. As expected, well, discounts still rule, but the percentage of those surveyed said that while it's the biggest driver for them, it's declining in popularity, down from 62%, now at 57% of those who responded indicating it as the most effective way to engage them. What else works? Here are a few other ways to get your customers to spend with you. Speed of service. It's also highly effective, with a percentage who cite that as a meaningful incentive at 17%. 22% cite supreme customer experience and service. Also worth mentioning, many surveys said they're really motivated by a sense of exclusivity. That's right, the VIP treatment, in the form of personalized offers and or exclusive access to a merchant's offerings. And what's the best way to convey your promotions messaging? A simple email is chosen highest by consumers, followed by social media posts. Look, entrepreneurs have to be more resourceful and creative than ever to chase down sales these days. But the good news is that if you are creative and focused on the consumer's needs and wants and treat them with great service, the trend is moving away from a pure dependency on costly discounts and more toward other factors like VIP treatment. I'm Jeff Sloan, founder and CEO of StartupNation.com, and that's today's Business Beat on the great voice of the Great Lakes, WJR.
This report is sponsored by LifeLock Identity Theft Protection. Tax season can be a big headache if identity thieves steal personal info from your tax forms. LifeLock helps protect, monitor, and restore your identity. No one can monitor all transactions at all businesses, but you can save up to 25% off your first year at LifeLock.com. Promo code RISK.
Let's check it here at 7:15, our WJR Traffic and Weather First. Miss Dana Clark.
Traffic First, sponsored by the Cremation Society of Michigan. For over 33 years, the Cremation Society of Michigan has been providing dignified cremation services without the cost of traditional funerals. For cremation information, contact the Cremation Society of Michigan at 1-800-241-3131 or visit cremationmichigan.com. Disabled vehicle partially blocking the M39 northbound ramp to Lodge northbound. Ambassador Bridge, moving slow southbound between U.S. and Canada. That's a 15-minute delay just for trucks. Now, WJR Weather First from the Weather Channel, sponsored by Window World. Call Window World at 1-800-NEXT-WINDOW for your window, door, or siding project. Get 0% financing for 60 months. Window World is America's largest exterior replacement remodeler and a trusted team partner of WJR's Inside Outside Guys. Call 1-800-NEXT-WINDOW or visit windowworlddetroit.com.
Nice warming trend under high pressure coming in. Beautiful by the first day of spring on Sunday. Not too bad today. A little cloud, otherwise clearing sky. We'll get into mostly sunny sky today, 48. Tonight, clear, 26. Outlying areas a little colder. Might be some upper teens in spots. Sunshine tomorrow, 55. Sunday, spring arrives with sunshine and mild weather, low 60s. From the Weather Channel, meteorologist Ray Staging on News Talk 760 WJR.
I don't know why Ray's saying it like that. It's the first full day of spring on Sunday, but spring arrives tomorrow morning in the 5 o'clock hour, like 5:57, whatever it is. But tomorrow morning, spring arrives. Sunday will be the first full day of spring. Right now, it is not spring-like at 28 degrees, but it's not the first time we've gone from one season to the next within hours, or even sometimes 2, 3, or all 4 seasons within hours of each other. This is the great state of Michigan. When you choose Blue Cross Blue Shield of Michigan for your Medicare coverage, it's easy to get the care, the tests, or treatment you need whenever you need them. When you need access to care, Blue Cross provides you with more options that work for every lifestyle. Schedule appointments for checkups or routine care at a time that's convenient for you. If you'd like to stay close to home, give the Blue Cross 24/7 nurse line a call or schedule a virtual doctor visit. Whenever you need assistance, Blue Cross will connect you with the information and help you need. With a Blue Cross Medicare plan, you'll never have to go without your medication. Their easy-to-use prescription drug plans allow you to refill and pick up your medications from your local pharmacy or have them delivered by mail. Get access to the care you need as soon as you need it with Blue Cross, the company more than 500,000 people in Michigan trust for their Medicare coverage. Blue Cross Blue Shield of Michigan. Confidence comes with every card. See what other members are saying at bcbsm.com/senior care. That's bcbsm.com/senior care for Blue Cross Blue Shield of Michigan. 7:18 at 760 WJR.
Stay on the right track to 9 Mile and Mac. Roy O'Brien Pumps and Cars, make your money back.
It's March, the month where everyone is Irish and everyone gets a great deal on a new Ford at Roy O'Brien Ford. Check out the full Ford lineup, including Bronco Sport and Mustang Mach-E at 9 Mile and Mac, celebrating our 75th anniversary with extra savings for you.
Roy O'Brien has the best deal around.
Help solve food insecurity in Michigan. Hear thought leaders from across the state on Food First Michigan with Dr. Phil Knight and Jerry Brisson. Sunday nights at 9 on WJR, presented by Farm Bureau Insurance of Michigan and the Food Bank Council of Michigan.
With stock markets overvalued and the threat of rising interest rates, many are asking the question again, should I be buying real estate inside my IRA? Find out on America's Wealth Management Show, Sunday afternoon at noon on WJR.
From the advanced composites in the roof of an iconic off-road vehicle to the toughest pickup truck box available, a next-generation electric vehicle battery case, or the complete body of a world-class performance car, Continental Structural Plastics is going beyond expectations to reduce vehicle weight, improve performance, and enhance design flexibility. Infinite possibilities powered by science, brought to you by Continental Structural Plastics, a Tajan Group company. Learn more at cspplastics.com.
Professor Wilson?
Yes?
What do I do if I have a business with cash flow problems?
This is science class, Thomas.
Yeah, but people say you know everything. Do you?
Well, oh, look, it's time for our break.
Okay, nobody knows everything, but you can learn a lot fast with Blinkist. Blinkist is an app that takes key insights from over 4,000 nonfiction bestsellers and gathers them into 15-minute blinks to read or listen to. Nonfiction books in over 27 categories, from self-help and personal development to entrepreneurship, science, investing, and more. With Blinkist, you can learn the main points of an entire book in just 15 minutes.
Now, where were we?
Cash flow issues.
Ah, yes. Start with lowering overhead. There are several creative ways you can...
No more, no faster with Blinkist. Right now, radio listeners get 25% off plus 1 free week when you go to Blinkist.com/stars. To get this special offer, go to Blinkist.com/stars. That's BLINKIST.com/stars.
Welcome back to the WJR Road Show with Paul W. Smith. Today featuring Ford. This stop on the road show is presented by Axalta, Aurea, Bridgestone, Continental Structural Plastics, and Lear. Once again, Paul W. Smith.
If you're lucky enough to be not only listening to us, but also watching us at WJR.com, YouTube, our WJR Facebook page, or whatever, all broadcast all morning long, we're featuring Ford Motor Company in our WJR Road Show on the Paul W. Smith Show. And because of that, we're getting some great B-roll. If you can tune in and watch, we just saw a great piece on the new Mustang Mach-E. And they were underscoring the fact that it can be all electric and it can be one bad vehicle. It was smoking the tires like crazy and just drifting, sliding around a track and all of that. It looks very good with that lit up galloping Mustang in the grill and all of that. There's showing it again here. Sean is giving us a little bit of the smoke thrown up by this thing. It's not from an engine burning oil. There's no oil burning or gasoline burning engine around there. It's just showing you can light up the tires with the Mustang Mach-E. It's very exciting. Meanwhile, there's a lot going on that we're trying to stay on top of for you. And a guy who does a great job for us is Chad Livengood from Cranes Detroit Business. Chad, good morning. Nice to have you with us this morning, as always.
Good Friday morning. Thanks for having me, Paul W.
The big story, and yet there's still so much more to the story that I'm not sure the big story is telling everyone everything they want. I suspect not. But Governor Gretchen Whitmer and former State Health Director Robert Gordon agreed to waive the non-disclosure agreement tied to his $155,000 separation deal, following criticism from Republicans that it amounted to hush money, a hush money payment to buy his silence. Now, the rest of that story to me, Chad, is that then it came out that the Republicans have done separation agreements as well. I don't know if they had non-disclosure agreements or not, but they also had separation agreements that paid people money when they were released. But bring us up to today on this story.
Yeah, so after a couple of weeks of some controversy that the Whitmer administration has faced over sort of a secretive deal that they put together for Robert Gordon after he resigned abruptly January 22nd, same day that he issued an order extending the closure of dining inside restaurants until the 1st of February. This deal emerged through public records requests by reporters. This is Sunshine Week, by the way, Paul W. And so this is a product of some actual dogged reporting by journalists digging into what happened, and so the governor and Robert Gordon decided to voluntarily waive this non-disclosure portion of it, and then Robert Gordon submitted a one-page letter to a House committee, the House Oversight Committee, basically saying we had some disagreements, and he kind of left it at that, but basically said that agreeable people can disagree, and he tried to submit that as his testimony, or in lieu of testimony. What he said. Now, Representative Steve Johnson, the chairman of that committee from Allegan County, said that he wants to pursue a subpoena to pull Robert Gordon and haul him in front of the committee and make him, state on the record, on the oath, why exactly he left, or whether he was in fact forced to resign by the governor, which would seem to be what happened here, but they have never really kind of come out and said that directly. Now, the governor herself hasn't actually answered any questions yet on Robert Gordon's resignation. She's refused several times in press conferences. There is a press conference this morning at 9:30, so maybe there'll be an opportunity for reporters to ask her about this. But this is basically the nuts and bolts of the story at this point. Now, yes, it has come out that the Republican Party has used these. Severance agreements. I know that from my own reporting, the state Senate has done this, Republican controlled for 40 years, has used these to both send people packing and give them a check, and also make them sign a non-disclosure agreement that they can't talk about the senator they work for, or even talk to them in some fashions. They're pretty restrictive covenants sometimes in these deals. And so while there's some House Republicans kind of on the march right now trying to investigate this, there's probably some Senate Republicans who are a little wary because there's a lot of, let's just say, skeletons buried over in the Senate, Paul W. And some people would rather those skeletons stay buried.
The unintended consequences of pushing at one end and then realizing that as you push on that end, this end starts to get involved with it. The agreement that everybody wanted that says the parties agree to waive the confidentiality provision contained in paragraph 3, blah, 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 still isn't giving the people who want more information the information they want.
Yeah, and so that's checks and balances, Paul W. And I guess we'll see which party here prevails in pulling the strings a little further.
Chad Livengood, always doing a great job. Cranes Detroit business reporter extraordinaire, and helps us out here on WJR as well. Thanks, Chad. Have a great weekend.
Anytime. Take care, Paul.
727 at 760 WJR.
This report is sponsored by Exergen. Accuracy matters. Get a $5 rebate by trading up any non-contact thermometer toward an Exergen purchased at any retailer. Accuracy matters, especially when it comes to checking for a fever. Exergen's accuracy is backed by published, peer-reviewed clinical studies. Details at exergen.com.
Let's check it for you at almost 728 now. Our WJR traffic and weather first, and Dana Clark.
Traffic first sponsored by Guernsey Farms Dairy. Visit Guernsey's remodeled bar, restaurant, and scoop shop in Northville today. Experience their legendary buttermilk chicken to home-style classics, or enjoy a scoop of their award-winning ice cream. Guernsey's restaurant, now open for dine-in or carry-out. Have them cater that next event. For more info, visit GuernseyFarmsDairy.com. Disabled vehicle partially blocking your Southfield Freeway northbound ramp to the Lodge northbound. If you're in a truck, looking at a 15-minute delay crossing the border, Ambassador Bridge southbound between the U.S. and Canada. Now, WJR Weather First from the Weather Channel, sponsored by Reamer Floors. The Reamer Floors 75-hour anniversary savings event is here. Save up to 40% on new flooring for your home. Save on top brands like Harris-Stand carpet, hardwood, or waterproof flooring for 75 hours only Wednesday through Saturday at Reamer Floors on Telegraph, 1 mile north of Square Lake. Lots of sunshine to kick off the weekend each day. We do remain dry, sunny today, high of 47. Tonight, clear skies, low 26. On Saturday, more sunshine, a high of 55, first day of spring. And on Sunday, it's going to be even warmer, a high of 62 under sunny skies. Clear skies, 27 degrees. I'm Dana Clark, WJR News with Marie Osborne in about 1 minute.
Aria is proud to support WJR's Road Show with Paul W. Smith every Friday this month. Hear all about the future of mobility and the great new vehicles you'll be seeing on the road today, tomorrow, and into the future. Aria builds quiet, comfortable, durable into your vehicle.
This is Darren McCarty for DraftKings Sportsbook. March's biggest tournament is finally here, and DraftKings Sportsbook, America's top-rated sportsbook app, is putting new customers in the center of action. Bet $4 on an underdog, win $256 if they win. It's that simple. Pick one of many select college basketball underdogs for your shot at winning $256. All it takes is a $4 bet. Download the top-rated DraftKings Sportsbook app now and use promo code WJR when you sign up to turn $4 into $256 if the underdog of your choosing pulls off the upset. That's code WJR for a limited time, only at DraftKings Sportsbook.
If you or someone you know has a gambling problem and wants help, call the Michigan Department of Health and Human Services Gambling Disorder Helpline at 800-270-7117. 21 and older, Michigan only. Eligibility restrictions apply. See DraftKings.com/sportsbook for full terms and conditions.
If you're looking for any kind of new or used vehicle, come see us. Hi friends, Bill Gowling here from the Gowling Automotive Group, letting you know we have some great incentives going on all March long. Remember, we have Gowling Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram in Roseville, Chelsea, and Bloomfield Hills. We also have Gowling Alfa Romeo Fiat in Birmingham, Gowling Buick GMC in Lake Orion, Gowling Toyota in Warren, and our new Gowling Kia store in Madison Heights. Since 1966, we've been honored to serve you. Learn more online at Gowling.com. Again, that's Gowling.com.
President Biden says his administration's goal of reaching 100 million COVID vaccine by the 100-day mark in office will be reached today.
We're way ahead of schedule, but we got a long way to go.
Mr. Biden's state of vaccinations remarks were full of claims of progress, though tempered by calls for caution. And while the U.S. is said to be averaging between 2 million to 3 million shots per day, health experts say the 100-day goal of 100 million doses was always an attainable benchmark.
That doesn't mean large events with lots of people together, but it does mean small groups will be able to get together.
Previously, Mr. Biden seemed to suggest that even if you were vaccinated, your holiday gatherings should still be small for the foreseeable future.
That's Fox's Kevin Cork reporting from Washington. Governor Whitmer says the release to the state of more vaccine and opening of additional vaccine sites encourages her to believe that there is now a realistic goal of families and friends being able to gather together by the 4th of July. The Michigan House has passed and sent on to the Senate bills that would would subject the governor and state lawmakers to public record requests. Michigan is currently one of only 2 states that exempt both bodies from Freedom of Information requests. The Senate in past sessions has failed to support similar requests. An Indiana man's expected to be arraigned today on charges he used online dating apps to specifically attract members of the LGBTQ community. Prosecutors say 24-year-old Diboleek Johnson has been charged in the robbery and murder of a 39-year-old Detroit man in September, and the robbing of another Detroit man at a hotel in Dearborn a few days before that. The Michigan House also approved legislation yesterday that would allow communities to determine if they want to allow bars to stay open until 4 a.m. A similar House-passed bill last year never advanced to a vote by the full Senate. This coming September 11th will mark 20 years since one of the darkest days in American history. Two of the planes that departed Boston's Logan Airport were flown into Manhattan's Twin Towers. A former flight attendant who was based out of Boston is preparing to honor his coworkers who lost their lives that day in a very unique way. Here's Fox's Chris Flanagan.
It's a long way to New York, but I'll drag that thing. I'll do whatever I got to do to get it there.
Paul Venito is not taking a typical walk in the park. The 62-year-old training to push this airline beverage cart from Logan Airport to Ground Zero for the 20th anniversary of 9/11. It's his way to honor the flight attendants killed on that fateful day. He has pictures on his cart of each one. Venito worked for nearly 20 years as a flight attendant for airlines all over the world. The night before 9/11, he flew into Boston on a United flight. 7 of his fellow flight attendants flew out the next morning on United Flight 175. It was hijacked and deliberately crashed into the South Tower of the World Trade Center.
A chilly start for the last day of winter. Highs in the mid-40s today with a steady wind making it feel colder. Spring arrives, though, at 5:57 Saturday morning. Again, our last day of winter here for today. Checking the world markets this morning. China and Nikkei down. London is down. The futures are up. For WJR News, I'm Marie Osborne. Back to Paul W. Smith in 2 minutes.
It's tournament time, and TwinSpires Sportsbook is unleashing its primetime play of the week. Sign up at TwinSpires using promo code PRIMETIME and double your money if any team scores over 50 points in the first round of the men's basketball tournament. Void where prohibited. For terms and conditions, visit twinspires.com. Offer valid for new players only, up to a maximum bet of $25. Must be 21 and older and physically present in Michigan to bet. For help with a gambling problem, call 1-800-270-7117.
Lear, a global automotive technology leader in seating and e-systems, has a reputation for identifying industry trends and acting on them. As the industry continues to transform, Lear faces the future of the vehicle with an even bolder vision, one that is connected, electrified, and sustainable, and one that enables them to make every product, every experience, and every drive better than the one that came before it. Lear, making every drive better. To learn more, visit Lear.com.
Rick Edelman, #1 New York Times best.
I was able to get some more information for the games tonight on WJR, and I emailed them to you. But we'll be joining the Wisconsin-North Carolina game in progress at 8 o'clock. And then we'll be carrying the entire Villanova-Winthrop game after that.
Well, I've been worried about Winthrop.
I think
Ever
Villanova.
since he was waiting for the Wells Fargo wagon coming round the mountain.
Hey, Villanova is actually good this year.
Yeah.
So I picked Villanova over Winthrop in my bracket.
Oh, you did? Okay.
I did,
You know what? I just feel it's easier to fill out the bracket.
One
when
of
the
our our
whole thing's
financial
over
planners.
with.
by
I know
calling
you do.
888
Very
Villanova.
clever on your
or
part.
visit rickedelman.com.
I've never gotten my payoff, though. Villanova versus Winthrop. What time?
Welcome back to the
About 10 o'clock.
WJR Road Show with Paul W. Smith. Today featuring Ford. This stop on the Road Show is presented by Axalta, Aurea, Bridgestone, Continental Structural Plastics, and Lear. Once again, Paul W. Smith.
Thanks to all of those great sponsors. We couldn't do them without Axalta, Aurea, Bridgestone, Continental Structural Plastics, and, of course, Lear Corporation. If you went to bed, you missed a bad ending for our Spartans of MSU. I did not go to bed. I stayed up. 86-80 was the final in overtime. And you hear it all the time, but it really is a game that Michigan State should have won. They were leading big time at the halftime, and it just didn't work out that way. What a season. We're going to talk to Coach Tom Izzo in the 8 o'clock hour. He's gotten no sleep at all either. And but I've communicated with him overnight, early morning hours, and they got back home about 3:30 this morning. And we're hoping to be able to still speak with him. Daniel Howe's coming up at 7:48, talking about Ford Motor Company, because it is Ford's day in the spotlight on WJR, on our WJR Road Shows with Paul W. Smith, which is me. And it just works out better to have me here with the name Paul W. Smith Show. And the blue, I'm just seeing if you're paying attention, Marie.
I am.
Oh, okay. The blue oval. I've got my blue on. Ann was just on a moment ago, if you missed it, saying we'll be joining Wisconsin and North Carolina in progress at 8 o'clock tonight. We're going to continue with our coverage, even though our Spartans are out. And at 10 o'clock, Villanova versus Winthrop. Oh, ho, the Wells Fargo wagon is coming round. What was that, Music Man? I think it was.
Yeah, Music Man.
I played Winthrop in high school, or maybe it was the Monroe Community Players. I can't remember, but I had to sing with
a lisp.
A lisp.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, you're a theater woman. You're a chef. You're a theater woman. You're a news person. You've got it all.
Renaissance person.
A Renaissance person.
Right. It's curious.
What's that?
It's good to be curious.
Well, it is.
About all things.
You guys were curious earlier in the roundtable asking about our 8th annual celebration luncheon for Detroit Regional Dollars for Scholars. I have to tell you, they're all to be congratulated. It was a great event. I suspect you can find it online at drdfs.org. I'm guessing. But I want to congratulate the founder 30 years ago, the president of Detroit Regional Dollars for Scholars, William C. Young, Bill Young. It's not like he's got a lot of time on his hands as the chairman, the CEO, the owner of AbsoPure, our fabulous water sponsors, and Plastipack Packaging. But there was a great student there. He went to Centerline High School class of 2019, Shah Azim. It's just great to see these kids. Krista Funk is the executive director of Detroit Regional Dollars for Scholars. Bill Kingsley, a board member, as am I. He's the fundraising chair. He did a nice interview there, and as I mentioned, it was my pleasure to be helping out as the MC. First time we did this virtually, and Krista Funk has a great team in Lindsay Pavlo and others, and then Frank Zolinsky, who I refer to on the air as Frankie Z. Was there to help out. But listen to some of these statistics, Marie, that makes this so important. The program impact, graduate from high school. State of Michigan average for graduating high school is 80%. Detroit Regional Dollars for Scholars, 100%. Persist from their first year to their second year. State of Michigan average, 62%. The program alumni, 88%. Enrolled in post-secondary education within 12 months of high school graduation, State of Michigan average 68%. The Detroit Regional Dollars for Scholars program alumni, 88%. And the students enrolled, completing and or graduating within 6 years, State of Michigan average 59%. The DRDFS program alumni, 70%. With a commitment to diversity, equity, and inclusion. This is a great program that I hope that you get to know, folks, that might want to reach out and help out. These Detroit Regional Dollars for Scholars, quite a program.
How do you keep from getting choked up when you hear about those stories and hear about those kids who are just overcoming incredible odds?
Amazing, insightful question, Marie, because I heard from Kim, who was watching it, and I couldn't see everything. I didn't have a monitor. So I didn't see all the individual interviews, and she said she was tearing up.
Yeah.
on a bunch of them.
Yeah.
These are kids that don't have the advantages that you and I have had,
And that our kids have, right?
and that our kids definitely have in terms of guidance and what to do when you get out of high school and why you should finish high school and all of those things.
Yeah.
And I didn't even know about this program until Bill Young introduced me to it, asked me to be on his board for that. And I'm now a big fan of this Detroit Regional Dollars for Scholars. It's such a good program. Just another one of those good programs out there we don't hear enough about that are doing so many great things behind the scenes without tax dollars, just with individuals helping out. It's a big deal. On this Friday, March 19th, we've got some business to take care of just ahead of Daniel Howes from the Detroit News. It's 7:43.
This report is sponsored by LifeLock. Tax season can be a big headache if identity thieves steal personal info from your tax forms. LifeLock helps protect, monitor, and restore your identity. No one can monitor all transactions at all businesses, but you can save up to 25% off your first year at LifeLock.com. Promo code RISK.
Let's check it here at 7:43. Our WJR traffic and weather first. Miss Dana Clark.
Still working to clear that disabled vehicle, Paul W. It's along the Southfield Freeway northbound ramp to Lodge northbound. Slow ride, 75 south.
Dubster,
Yes, ma'am.
Daniel is planning on joining you here on StreamYard.
Oh, good.
Bernsey Farms Dairy, owned and operated since
Firing up
1940,
the
offers
laptop,
award-winning
so
milk and ice
let's see
cream.
what
They
happens.
create
I'll
an
keep you
experience
posted.
like no other by crafting
I
the
think I
highest
heard most
quality
of what you were
products
saying.
and delivering them from cow to carton. Taste the Guernsey difference today at your local grocer or at
Motor
their
City
newly
Flooring
remodeled
next.
scoop shop in
Got it.
Northville.
Maybe a little cloud around with a gusty northeast wind this morning. That cloud will give way to sunshine if you're not in it yet. And look at that sunshine at about 48 today. Tonight, clear, cold, 26. Suburbs might be even colder, maybe some upper teens in spots. Kick off the weekend Saturday with sunshine, 55. Sunday, first day of spring, sunny, low 60s. From the Weather Channel, meteorologist Ray Stagik on News Talk 760 WJR.
Of course, Ray knows that spring arrives tomorrow morning very early in the 5 o'clock hour. And then the first full day of spring will be Sunday. Both days will be worthy of being called spring, however. And it'll be a lot different than the 28 degrees that we're enjoying right now. Did you know that manufacturing is within the top 3 industries in Michigan? That's how important manufacturing is here. Many of the manufacturers who had to adjust, just like everyone else, to this new work environment. All of us have had to adjust. Well, our friends at Motor City Floors and Coatings have helped update those industrial manufacturing facilities with their concrete polishing system. I've seen the results. It's amazing on how they've changed a complete warehouse just by dealing with the floor and the various issues. Their concrete coating protects your floor from abrasions and chemicals, which overall creates more efficiency and employee safety. Now, don't forget they also have transformed thousands of Metro Detroiters' basement and garage concrete floors, making them 4 times stronger than epoxy, they say, 4 times stronger. And usually those can be installed in just a day. Update your industrial business's concrete floor or your own home's basement and garage concrete floors. Call Motor City Floors and Coatings at 248-613-5888. That's 248-613-5888. Or visit MotorCityFloorsandCoatings.com. 746, Daniel Howes coming up next on the Paul W. Smith Show, featuring Ford on our road show here on WJR.
Confidence. It's important to have when you're on the road. Be prepared for whatever the weather brings with a new set of innovative Bridgestone or dependable Firestone tires.
Hey, Daniel.
Hey, how are you?
I'm
Daniel,
well.
my brother.
All right, you sound pretty good.
Good.
Your framing's good. You sound good. You're good.
Excellent. Thank you.
I think what he's saying, I think what Sean is saying is, you look marvelous.
So,
how are you, man?
You read my mind.
What's that great school of yours, that great college that your daughter went to as well that you love?
The College of Worcester.
Do they have a basketball team?
They do, and they have a basketball team that perennially is in the NCAA Division III tournament.
Ah.
I don't know how they're doing this year, to be honest, but I was listening to the Michigan State game driving up north, and I thought, rolling it, and as we pulled into where we were going, it was just starting the second half, and then I hear my phone beep about an hour later, and I blew it.
It was the second half was the beginning of the end, because the first half was a whole different game. Michigan State, I almost thought of going to bed, because Michigan State was seemingly so in control and so in charge.
Well, apparently there was some dust up between Izzo and one of his players at time, and I wonder if that changed the dynamics in the locker room or something.
Don't know. We'll ask him. He's coming up this next hour, and interestingly enough, the announcers were making a big deal of it. Charles Barkley, God bless Charles, he defended the coach, while one of the announcers was saying, "Oh, that should never happen," and blah blah blah. And Charles said, "You know what? If you're telling your son something and he turns and walks away while you're talking, you're going to reach for him and say, 'Hey, come back here! I'm not done talking to you,'" which is in fact what Coach Izzo did. But they made a big deal out of it. And then when they had the press conference, that was one of the first questions of Coach Izzo. And he went, "A game like that, and that's the first question you ask?" So there's a lot of frustration. There's a lot of frustration.
Yeah.
As you know, Daniel, and as I know, it is a different world. It is a world that is not as forgiving. We have a cancel culture, or it's a cancerous cancel culture. Yeah. And it reaches everybody, everywhere.
Anyway. Yeah, Tom Izzo, at least not this time.
I'm glad you're up north. I'm glad you're able to take
specializes
off
in these and other complex tax questions for Metro Detroit businesses. Learn more at ShindelRock.com.
Welcome back to the WJR Road Show with Paul W. Smith. Today featuring Ford. This stop on the road show is presented by Axalta, Aurea, Bridgestone, Continental Structural Plastics, and Lear. Once again, Paul W. Smith.
If you're lucky enough to be around your computer, you can watch us on the WJR Facebook page, WJR.com, YouTube. If sometimes you open your refrigerator door, the light goes on, and there we are. We're everywhere. And I'm seeing and loving the no, it's the old joke that I miss doing my show on the weekend. So the family knows if I open the refrigerator door and the light goes on, I start doing my show, and they go, "Oh, geez, Dad." Anyway, I'm seeing that Mustang, that Mach-E. It's a hot vehicle, and they're showing that in the videos that we're running on online here, right? Because there's a lot of smoke, and I know it's not coming from the engine.
Yeah, there's no smoke coming from the engine. This is a really interesting story and achievement, I think, for Ford. You're starting to hear the narrative change about the company and its technical credibility. And it's also being credited with taking market share from Tesla, which is everybody who's been paying attention to the industry knows is somehow delivered from the heavens as the be all and end all when it comes to electric vehicles. I think we're starting to see that that's not the case, and we can talk about multiple levels of that. But the Mach-E is getting great critical acclaim. They've had some hiccups in getting the vehicle into customers' hands, but it's starting to come now. Part of those hiccups, I think, are because they want to make sure things are totally buttoned up. I have not driven the vehicle, but people who have, my colleague Henry Payne says very good things about it. And some critics on a national level who typically can be very hard on traditional automakers are giving it a lot of props as well.
Yeah, that's good. It's good to hear. It's good to know. And it's nice to see that Ford Motor Company, although IBM did this years ago in some respects, some people, some regular listeners have pointed out to me because they used to work at IBM. And so they're just kind of want me to know. Keith Newell, who used to work at IBM, said, "Hey, we've been doing this for 2 decades where people would be hoteling and all the different new technology and words that Kirsten Robinson came up with in a job that didn't exist 10 years ago. Ford Chief People and Employee Experiences Officer. This whole idea of place-dependent and non-place dependent employees who are now going to be able to work from their homes most of the time, and then sometimes come in to the office, but they won't have an office anymore. They'll have a workspace, and it may be different every time they come in.
You know, Dub, when we knew at the news that this was coming down the pike, I think certainly the senior leadership of the newsroom and some of our beat writers knew that this was going to be a pretty major deal. I mean, Ford is an iconic company in the United States and in the world, and certainly in Southeast Michigan. And that some of the things and practices that it would be instituting would have a profound effect on employment. And I suspect that there's a lot of people listening to your show who have been working remotely for the last year. In a lot of cases, it's been successful. Senior management in organizations is seeing that people can and do rise to the occasion and act responsibly and get their work done. I know that's been the case at the Detroit News. I think this is going to have a profound effect on the way Southeast Michigan works, frankly. Technology has become an enabler for a lot of us. Look at how we're talking to right now.
Right, from our homes.
From our homes, or from somebody else's home, or from another remote location. You can work remotely, and as long as you get the job done, I think that's a really important thing. Now, it's important to note, you know, Ford talks about this as a hybrid model. I don't think they envision the entire 30,000 North American white collar workforce working from their jammies at home 5 days a week, 48 weeks a year. I think there are expectations that you are going to be coming into the office. You are going to be doing other things and being mobile. You're not just going to be sitting at home. We had a reader write to us and say, well, if this is the case, why couldn't an engineer just say, I don't want to live in Michigan, and I'm just going to live in, fill in the blank, on the Gulf Coast of Alabama and be an engineer for Ford? Well, I think the reality is that you're going to have responsibilities and you're going to have to be in the office and doing things some of the time, but you're probably not going to have to do it all the time.
Right.
This is a very encouraging development.
Yeah, I think it's a big deal. I wouldn't want to be in commercial real estate right now when leases come up. Jim Farley, doing a great job. It's great to see him come home after being all over the world for Ford Motor Company. I think he is doing a nice job. Help me, I might be misremembering this, but it seems to me that you and I were on a golf course, which is rare in itself because I played, sadly, very little golf, a number of years ago. And you guys are the bright guys. I'm just there schlumping along and listening to you talk. And at the time you were talking about the auto industry, it was one of our darkest days of the auto industry back then, that many years ago. And the one that was in the barrel and thought to be the one that would have the most trouble and go out of business even, or be lost altogether, or be swooped up by somebody else, was Ford Motor Company. That was a few years ago. Was that you and me talking on the golf course?
I can imagine being involved in a conversation like that, and I can certainly imagine talking about Ford in that context, probably in circa about 2006 and 7.
It was that long ago.
And 2006 was when Alan Mulally was brought to Ford in September of that year, at which point they had just essentially leveraged the entire company, including the Blue Oval, to raise cash to fund the restructuring that Alan led. I think at the time there was a view that we used to talk of it as Ford failed first. They didn't ultimately fail, but they were on a trajectory that was very dark, and that's one of the key reasons that Alan was brought in to do the restructuring that he did.
And ended up being the one company that didn't have to rely on the federal government necessarily with the loans and bankruptcy and everything else.
That's exactly right. But there's a big caveat to that. I think one of the things that we saw with Alan, and I've talked to people about this after he left, is that Alan was very good and did a very good job at restructuring Ford 1.0, the traditional automotive business around the world, different markets, as he used to talk about it, cars, trucks, utilities, small, medium, and large, 1/3 of the world, 1/3 of the world, 1/3 of the world. That's what he did. What didn't happen, and what we've seen in this last decade, is there wasn't the same pace of investment in next generation technologies, autonomy, other things. Now, they're certainly coming and they're certainly doing it. But I think if you look publicly, General Motors seems to be farther along that trajectory. From the time Alan retired, Mary became CEO at General Motors, and they've had a lot of continuity there. So the arc of continuity, I think, has been very strong. And in fact, I saw a report just as we think about this, predicting that GM shares could get to $120 a share. And their last time I checked, they were trading in the mid 50s.
Wow.
And the person who wrote the report said it comes down to two things: management and strategy, and your ability to execute that. And I think what you're seeing with Jim is, I think they're settling down now into a strategic, what I would call a strategic arc, and that's going to be critical. They need continuity in management and to be able to execute what the plan is. And the Mach-E is a good example of executing the plan and the market saying, "Hey, this is quite a product."
And having the Ford F-150 be the best-selling vehicle in history for years and years and years. So the good news is Ford has come a long way in the right direction since that conversation on the golf course in about 2006.
Oh yeah, but this whole industry right now is buffeting some real headwinds with chip shortages and weather and plant shutdowns and one thing after COVID. It's one thing after another, but I think the resilience that's being displayed by Ford Motor Company and by the Detroit auto world as we know it is very encouraging. And to me, ultimately, it's not surprising. If you know these people as leaders like you and I do, it's not surprising that they rally around some of these challenges and press forward.
Daniel House from the Detroit News. It's always a pleasure to hear from you and see you, my friend. Have a great
My
weekend.
pleasure. You too. Thank you very much.
We continue at 7:59.
This report is sponsored by LifeLock Identity Theft Protection. Tax season can be a big headache if identity thieves steal personal info from your tax forms. LifeLock helps protect, monitor, and restore your identity. No one can monitor all transactions at all businesses, but you can save up to 25% off your first year at lifelock.com. Promo code RISK.
Let's check it. Our WJR traffic and weather first on WJR Detroit. As we head toward 8 o'clock, we head toward Dana Clark first.
Traffic first sponsored by Reamer Floors. The Reamer Floor 75-hour anniversary savings event is here. Save up to 40% on new flooring for your home. Save on top brands like Karastand Carpet, hardwood or waterproof flooring for 75 hours only Wednesday through Saturday at Reamer Floors on Telegraph, 1 mile north of Square Lake. That disabled vehicle gone from the Southfield Freeway northbound ramp to Lodge northbound. Slow ride 75 southbound between 12 and 11 mile. Now WJR weather first from the Weather Channel, sponsored by the Cremation Society of Michigan. For over 33 years, the Cremation Society of Michigan has been providing dignified cremation services without the cost of traditional funerals. For cremation information, contact the Cremation Society of Michigan at 1-800-241-3131 or visit cremationmichigan.com. Lots of sunshine to kick off the weekend. Today's high 47. Tonight, clear skies, your low 26. Sunshine, 27 degrees. I'm Dana Clark, WJR News with Marie Osborne in less than 1 minute.
Stay on the right track to 9 Mile and Mac. Roy O'Brien Pumps and Cars, make your money back.
It's March, the month where everyone is Irish and everyone gets a great deal on a new Ford at Roy O'Brien Ford. Check out the full Ford lineup, including Bronco Sport and Mustang Mach-E at 9 Mile and Mac, celebrating our 75th anniversary with extra savings for you.
Roy O'Brien, that's the best deal around.
Michelle's Thursday and Friday, March 25th and 26th auctions feature more treasures from the collection of Michigan Senator Jack Faxon and many other prominent estates. Preview fine and decorative art in person or in the comfort of your home by viewing their video at auctiondetroit.com. Exceptional paintings, sculptures, mid-century and period furniture, rugs, African and native art, Tiffany, Pewabic, and more. Visit auctiondetroit.com. Preview today across from the Renaissance Center. Duo Michelle's, a Detroit tradition since 1927.
It was very important to feel like a company valued me and my family's time, specifically helping get the timeshare company off of our backs.
Do all the good you can, by all the means you can, and all the ways you can. I'm Chuck McDowell, CEO and founder of Wesley Financial Group. I first heard that John Wesley quote when I was 11 years old in Sunday school. I even have his words displayed at all of our offices to give our employees the same purpose I have when fighting to get clients out of a fraudulent timeshare.
If you were not satisfied with other companies, look directly to Wesley Financial and they will help you.
I promise we'll do all the good we can every single day. That's why I guarantee we will cancel your timeshare or you'll pay nothing.
Call for your free information kit. 800-743-8989. 800-743-8989. 800-743-8989.
WJR Detroit and WDVD HD2 Detroit. The great voice of the Great Lakes. 760 WJR, where Detroit comes to talk.
The meeting between U.S. and Chinese officials got off to a tense start, with each country throwing accusations at the others. Vox's Simon Owen reports from London.
Secretary of State Antony Blinken and his Chinese counterpart traded rebukes as they met for talks in Anchorage.
Our intent is to be direct about our concerns, direct about our priorities, with the goal of a more clear-eyed relationship between our countries.
China's Foreign Affairs Chief Yang Jiechi shot back, saying U.S.-China relations are in a period of unprecedented difficulty, and he added there is no way to strangle China. The State Department says private talks that followed were serious and substantive. In London, Simon Owen, Fox News.
Governor Whitmer says the release to the state of more vaccine and the opening of additional vaccine sites encourages her to believe that there is now a realistic goal of families and friends being able to gather together by the 4th of July. The governor will address the pandemic response at a news conference coming up at 9:15. And she said that the vaccination site at Ford Field will be the state's largest. It opens next Wednesday. The state had a goal of vaccinating 50,000 residents a day. The Ford Field site will raise that number by another 6,000 a day. During the Big Four conference, the discussion centered on the response to the coronavirus in Michigan. Mayor Mike Duggan said Detroit is accelerating its vaccination program.
We went from 5,000 a week to 15,000 a week to now the health department is delivering 30,000 a week. By April, we need to be up to 40,000 a week. And like all of us, we'd like to have more vaccines sooner, but we're ramping up to deliver them as fast as they come.
An attempt to have charges against former Governor Rick Snyder dropped has been denied. Snyder's legal team argued the charges against him were filed in the wrong court. Judge William Crawford did not agree. Judge Crawford noted that prosecutors still have to prove at the trial the crimes occurred in Genesee County. Snyder was charged with 2 misdemeanor counts of willful neglect of duty. He and 8 other defendants have all pled not guilty. 2 more Michigan men were charged after photos and other evidence showed that they were at the deadly January 8th riot at the Capitol. The FBI says Robert Shornack and Daniel Henradine, both of Macomb County, traveled to Washington in support of President Trump and got inside the U.S. Capitol building. Major questions continue to crop up about the safety of self-driving technology. A couple of those investigations centering here in Michigan. Fox's Tom Rigotti reports.
The National Highway Traffic Administration reports opening a total of 27 investigations, with 4 completed into crashes of Teslas. 3 of those mishaps occurred recently. The agency is sending a team to investigate a crash in Houston, as well as 2 other incidents in Michigan. One of those involved a Tesla believed to be in autopilot mode when it slammed into a parked state police patrol car on Interstate 96. No one was injured. The other was a violent March 11th crash in Detroit, where a Tesla became wedged underneath the tractor trailer and left a passenger in critical condition. The police say they don't believe autopilot was in use at the time. Tom Rigotti, Fox News.
And checking the world market update this morning, China and Nikkei closing down. London is down. The futures are up. For WJR News, I'm Marie Osborne. More of the Paul W. Smith Show coming your way in 2 minutes.
From the advanced composites in the roof of an iconic off-road vehicle to the toughest pickup truck box available, a next-generation electric vehicle battery case, or the complete body of a world-class performance car, Continental Structural Plastics is going beyond expectations to reduce vehicle weight, improve performance, and enhance design flexibility. Infinite possibilities powered by science, brought to you by Continental Structural Plastics, a Tajin Group company. Learn more at cspplastics.com. Tune in at 3 p.m. every Saturday for the Veterans Perspective with host MVAA Director Zenata Adams. presented by the Michigan Veterans Affairs Agency. Veterans Perspective, Saturdays at 3 on News Talk 760 WJR.
Hi, Ken and Chuck here, the Inside Outside guys. You've heard us say many times that painting is not a do-it-yourself project. The folks at CertaPro Painters know a great paint job starts with the prep, making sure the surface will accept the high-quality primers and paints they use.
CertaPro Painters uses only professional technicians and will treat your home with the same loving care you expect. And they're trained to keep you, the homeowner, and the painting team safe. And CertaPro Painters experts can help with those tough color choices as well as using the right products for the right application. So if you're looking for a weatherproof paint for the outdoors or a scrubbable finish for the kids' room, they can do it all.
On time, every time. Each CertaPro Painters business is independently owned and operated. They are right here in your community.
So the next time you're considering new paint anywhere in your home, think CertaPro Painters. Schedule your free estimate at CertaPro.com. That's Certa with a C. Professional painters you can trust.
Stay on the right track to 9 Mile and Mac. Roy O'Brien Pumps and Cars, make your money back.
It's March, the month where everyone is Irish and everyone gets a great deal on a new Ford at Roy O'Brien Ford. Check out the full Ford lineup, including Bronco Sport and Mustang Mach-E at 9 Mile and Mac, celebrating our 75th anniversary with extra savings for you.
Roy O'Brien has the best deal around.
It's the WJR Road Show with Paul W. Smith. Today featuring Ford. This stop on the Road Show is presented by Axalta, Aurea, Bridgestone, Continental Structural Plastics, and Lear. Here's Paul.
So happy to be featuring these auto companies and through this whole month of March every Friday, and featuring these sponsors as well: Axalta, Aurea, Bridgestone, Continental Structural Plastics, and of course Lear Corporation. These are supporters of ours year-round, and we support them year-round as well, and we appreciate that. And the auto industry is so very important to us in this part of the world, and for that matter, in the entire world. The auto industry in the United States is important. So happy to have our Paul W. Smith Show, Road Show, if you will, and all this morning featuring Ford. And speaking to the people from Ford and talking about Ford from like Daniel House just a moment ago. It is Friday, no doubt about it, the last full day of winter, March 19th. It is the 78th day of 2021 with 287 days left in the year. Make each and every day count. Each day is a gift. And we've got Greg Russell of Movie Show Plus coming up. We'll talk about a couple of films. And a very tired, like me, Coach Tom Izzo. They got in. We communicated early this morning. They got in about 3:30 this morning after a very disappointing 86-80 overtime loss to UCLA. And then we'll say hi near the end of the show to Ken Washington, Ford Chief Technology Officer, about Ford and University of Michigan and a new robotics lab. So we're looking forward to that. But meanwhile, I know you went to sleep because you're a sensible person, but I stayed up, and it was very disappointing. In overtime, a game that we could have won, we should have won. And nothing can do about that. That's what's sports. That's what it's all about. That's why these games are played in the first place. But I want you to know that Anna's told me that with our partners, corporate partners, Westwood One, we will have some action tonight. And we will follow Michigan for fellow Michigan fans as well. But tonight, we'll join Wisconsin versus North Carolina. We'll join them in progress at 8 o'clock as their game starts about 7:10, following the famous Darren McCarty show, not to be missed tonight and every Friday. And then at about 9:57, 10 p.m. or so, it'll be Winthrop versus Villanova. And we'll carry that in its entirety. Villanova's a pretty good team. Winthrop, I don't know from anything but the Music Man. I don't know anything more about Winthrop.
I wonder, as you mentioned Michigan State, I wonder how much, and you may have asked the coach about this, Coach Izzo, How much has the impact of the pandemic had on those young players? In class, out of class, virtual, not virtual, playing, not playing. I just wonder how much that's impacted them.
Well, because I didn't say to him I was going to share this, we were having personal conversations. Mine went to him at 1:23 in the morning, and he responded. He was surprised I stayed up. I told him I was going to stay up and watch the game. But he does mention a few things, and he does mention the pandemic, among other things that they went through. Everybody went through the pandemic, but there were some other things Michigan State has gone through in the last year or two. A lot of different things that have weighed heavily on the team. But Tom Izzo is not one to make excuses. He will talk about that a little later this morning. There will be no excuses, but he's hurting. Obviously, he knows they should have won and could have won. Like I say, it's part of the world, part of the sporting world. It is 8:13 at 760 WJR on a beautiful morning.
This report is sponsored by Exergen. Accuracy matters. Get a $5 rebate by trading up any non-contact thermometer toward an Exergen purchased at any retailer. Accuracy matters, especially when it comes to checking for fever. Exergen's accuracy is backed by published peer-reviewed clinical studies. Details at exergen.com.
Movies to see or not to see, coming up at 8:18, Greg Russell, Movie Show Plus. At 8:35, right after Marie's 8:30 news, it'll be Tom Izzo talking about that game and the season. Then Ken Washington, Ford Chief Technology Officer, about a lot of things at Ford as we'll close out this special road show on WJR. Of course, we have Dana Clark, who is standing by, also getting ready to do the movies with us. Right now, it's the WJR Traffic and Weather First. Dana?
Traffic First, sponsored by Gordon Chevrolet. Gordon Chevrolet, where not only do you pick your payment, but now pick your program. Need to pull ahead your lease? Do you need GM employee pricing or a low payment with zero interest? Let Gordon Chevrolet help you find it. Ford Road, just west of Merriman in Garden City. GordonChevrolet.com. Gordon Chevrolet, find new roads. 75 southbound, about a 2-minute delay between 12 and 11 Mile, but right now accident free. Now, WJR Weather First from the Weather Channel, sponsored by Window World. Call Window World at 1-800-NEXT-WINDOW for your window, door, or siding project. Get 0% financing for 60 months. Window World is America's largest exterior replacement remodeler and a trusted team partner of WJR's Inside Outside Guys. Call 1-800-NEXT-WINDOW or visit windowworlddetroit.com.
Pretty good looking and a better feeling forecast as we head through the next few days, up into the 60s by Sunday. But a cloud around, otherwise clearing sky and sunshine in today's forecast, 48 with a northeast breeze. Tonight clear, 26, suburbs colder. Saturday sunshine, 55. Sunday mainly sunny with a high in the low 60s. From the Weather Channel, I'm meteorologist Ray Stagicon, News Talk 760 WJR.
27 degrees, so we'll get that swing that we're familiar with. We'll get that swing from the 20s to the 60s tomorrow, with the first breaking of spring in the 5 o'clock hour, and then the first full day of spring on Sunday. And of course, as you well know, it's tournament time. And with so many games going on, who wants to bet just one? That's why we love betting parlays on FanDuel. It's a great way to combine bets from different games for an even bigger win. Everybody won on the game last night except the Spartans, but people that placed their bets with FanDuel did okay. And guess what? FanDuel is here to help if your parlay doesn't go as planned. They'll give you up to $25 back in site credit if your parlay of 3 legs or more falls 1 leg short. That's 1 parlay per day, each day of the tournament for new and existing users. You know, a lot of deals out there are for new users. This is for new and existing users of FanDuel Sportsbook. Get it? It's why FanDuel is America's #1 sportsbook app, the one I use. They're always hooking us up. The app is so easy to use, many bet options to choose from, and always exclusive, always on promotions. And when you win, you'll get paid in as little as 24 hours. If you've been thinking about signing up, now is the perfect time to give it a shot. Just download the FanDuel Sportsbook app and sign up with promo code Paul W. Use it as one word, Paul W. I want them to know that I sent you here. That's FanDuel Sportsbook. Promo code Paul W.
21 and older and present in Michigan. Refund issued as non-withdrawable site credit that expires in 7 days. Maximum refund $25. Terms apply. See sportsbook.fanduel.com for details. Gambling problems? Call 1-800-270-7117 for confidential help.
Have you ever wanted to learn a new language like French, Spanish, or...
Good morning, Greg. Welcome to the stream.
Morning. How are you?
I'm well. Just making sure your mic sounds good. You're well framed. You're looking good. So,
all right.
All righty.
Sean is looking good too. There, isn't he? Have you noticed? Sean looks good.
Thank you. I put some extra effort in today. I appreciate it, Paul.
Good for you.
Really great looking, nice frame job, like you said. Perfect.
Brian, FanDuel, please. FanDuel. All right, I got the message, and I did it.
You did. You did the FanDuel.
I did the FanDuel.
Still looking forward to getting you out on a tour. Thank you so much. We've been getting a lot of calls, just from the mentions that come up here on the show.
Oh, good for you. I'm glad the business is good. Well, people are going to, as we venture out eventually, although the news is today that our numbers are not good. They're going in the wrong direction because of all these variants.
Right.
So who knows where this is all going to end up? But sooner or later, people are going to break out. They're going to have to. They want to live. We all want to live.
Yep.
And we should. And when we get the statistics that say that people who weren't locked up have the same basic statistics that those of us who were locked up, you start to go, well, geez, we lost people to depression. We lost people's jobs. We lost businesses that have gone out because they couldn't survive. I mean, the list is pretty endless. So I hope that we learn something from this pandemic for the next pandemic that certainly will come along, sadly.
Mm-hmm.
Just the way it is.
Also got to say, over the weekend, I can't remember if I sent Ann a message. I was watching on Channel 56 the documentary they had on J.P. McCarthy. That was really good. I saw both of you in it.
Oh, I didn't even know.
Yeah.
I wish they would have. Geez, why wouldn't they have let us know?
Oh, wow. Yeah, it was good. Like you said, you were in it, Ann was in it. And that's where I started in radio on the FM side. But we got to see all these people like Hal Youngblood.
God.
Ed Head.
Oh, boy.
And so many people. It's like, oh, my God.
And that's fabulous. I sure wish they...
Coronavirus, brought to you
they
by
would have given
the
us a
U.S.
heads
Department
up.
of Health and Human Services.
Welcome back to the WJR Road Show with Paul W. Smith. Today featuring Ford. This stop on the Road Show is presented by Axalta, Aurea, Bridgestone, Continental Structural Plastics, and Lear. Once again, Paul W. Smith.
God bless these wonderful clients. I hope you do business with them. If they do what you need, do business with those people who do business with us and bring you live radio free every day. There's so few things free anymore. Right, Greg?
That's for sure.
Free.
All right. Free. And you know what this is? It's Friday. It's 8:20. You hear the music. You see the people if you're watching. It's time for Greg Russell of Movie
Show.
Plus.
That's your workout for today.
That about wore me out.
I was going to say, we're exhausted. Thanks so much. See you next week, guys.
See y'all. Good night, everybody. All right. Are there any movies worth seeing this week?
Yeah. There's a brand new one called The Courier, which stars Benedict Cumberbatch. And it's based off of a true story, one I did not know until really the end of the movie. It took place in the 1960s. He's a British citizen who has to go over to Moscow just to do business. He's a regular business guy. He works for just some regular company. The government, however, of Britain, MI6, as far as intelligence, picks him because he's just so unassuming. And he has no, nothing on him where people can say, oh, we think he's a spy. And they have him as a courier getting information back and forth. And it's just this really intriguing story. And like I said, again, to find out that this was a true story just made it even more fascinating.
All right, let's listen to a little bit of The Courier.
I can't believe I'm actually having lunch with spies. I'm just a salesman.
Exactly. You're civilians the KGB won't be watching.
It would be a real service to Great Britain.
Will I be putting myself in danger?
If this mission was the least bit dangerous, you really are the last man we'd send.
Make sure you wear it while you're in Moscow.
What does this do? Shoot poison darts?
Everyone you meet, assume they're KGB. Every Russian is an eye of the state.
You'll just be a courier.
Just a career for Russian secret.
From now on, you will be selling one thing. The idea that you are an ordinary businessman and nothing more than an ordinary businessman.
Sounds intriguing. This is in theaters, though, right, Greg? You have to go to the theater.
Right, it is. And it's very intriguing, especially, if you're a fan of like the Sean Connery James Bond movies, or remember the Avengers TV show back in the day. It's right along that line, because I talked to both of them, but I even asked the director about.
Of course you did, Greg. You talk to everybody.
Well, I'm here with you two greats right now, so I love that the most. But talk to the director about even the way the movie looks. It looks like something from the 1960s.
Okay.
It has that same stylized, thing about it as far as the color and the angles and different things. So if you get a chance to get out, definitely check it out. I think it's going to be streaming though, however, in like a couple of weeks. So,
okay.
Yeah.
I because I'm in a fog. As it turns out, I'm in a pandemic fog and pandemic brain and lack of sleep from the basketball game. So I can't think of the guy's name. This movie, The Courier, you can't help but think of this poor guy from our Detroit area that's being held in Russia as a spy. And he says, no, I'm just a businessman. I'm not a spy. I was here for a wedding. What was it?
Paul Whelan?
Paul Whelan. Yeah, I just couldn't think of it. And when I went to here to look for it, the Michigan Lottery comes up. Thank you very much. I don't know why, but I wish they wouldn't do that. But anyway, so the Whelan family has got to be saying, wow, listen to this story. So, I mean, I don't know any of the details of The Courier other than that. So is it rated R?
Yes.
And we're saying it's worth it?
Yeah, it's good. Like I said, especially if, once again, if you're a fan of like the old Bond movies or just intrigue itself. And Benedict Cumberbatch, he's just one of those, few actors out today where he just seems to do everything very well.
Yeah.
Good. What's the next movie?
Well, the next one, actually, it's a TV show on Netflix, and it's called Waffles and Mochi. And this is Michelle Obama's series on
the kids book.
Kids, right.
Yeah.
And it's really kind of nice because they've got chefs from around the world and kids from around the world. And it's really teaching the kids how to, one, eat healthy, and two, how to fix meals for themselves.
Let's listen to that.
If you want to be great chefs, you have to learn about all kinds of different foods.
Hi, I'm Waffles, and this is Mochi.
Well, hello, Waffles and Mochi. Are you ready for an amazing adventure?
Our dream is to become chefs. So Mochi and I are traveling around the world. Nice, Mama! Learning everything we can about food. Japan! Peru! Italy! We've got to have courage, Mochi, or we'll never really learn how to cook.
That's funny.
It looks so
we gotta
fun.
have courage or we'll never learn how to cook.
Yeah. It looks great. It looks so fun. Michelle Obama has always been, one of her platforms when she was first lady, of course, is healthy eating, growing your own vegetables. And, we all know how popular these food shows are, especially with the young kids cooking too. So this is a great show. It looks so cute in a way. And so I think kids are and parents would like watching it with the kids too.
Is it the ever elusive G rating? Because there are so few G-rated films.
Yes.
This has got to be a G-rated television show.
Oh, definitely. It's really like for kids, it seems from age 5 to say like 10 or 11, in that age range. And again, it just shows them how to go up to the kitchen, get some tomatoes, get some lettuce. I mean, like how to make a salad or how to make, a nice little healthy meal for themselves.
Good. Hey, I want to, and that's I can tell by listening to it. And of course, it's got former First Lady Michelle Obama. It's obviously worth tuning into. Where is that on television?
Netflix.
Netflix.
Yeah.
Okay, of course.
We're on
Netflix, of
Netflix,
course.
aren't we?
I think we are on Netflix. But there's another one that Kim turned me on to that Lester Holt featured in the NBC. I love Lester.
Yeah.
Lester Holt, NBC Nightly News last night, did a piece. Another true story, like The Courier. This is a true story. It's a short film called Feeling Through. Have you guys heard about it?
No. What's that one?
I want you to watch it.
Feeling
It's a
Through.
true story about it's about an 18-minute film, 15 minutes to 18 minutes. You could Google it. You could see it on YouTube. Feeling Through, true story about a man who is deaf and blind and a very special friendship that develops. And the gentleman who was involved in the special friendship decided to make it into a short film. And it's very touching and very good to see.
Okay.
So I'm glad you guys always tell me what I should see.
Mhm.
I'm glad, thanks to Kim telling me about this, I haven't seen it myself yet, that Feeling Through is one that maybe we should all check out.
All right.
Excellent.
Sounds good.
Well, that's it. It's Friday morning, our last one in winter. Tomorrow, we will embark on spring, and we'll go from the 28 degrees to the 60s, which is okay by me.
That's how we do.
But that is our famous movie. Show. Plus. With Greg Russell and Dana Clark. And I'm Paul W. Smith, your staff announcer at 8:29.
I just work here.
This report is sponsored by Exergen. Accuracy matters. Get a $5 rebate by trading up any non-contact thermometer toward an Exergen purchased at any retailer. Accuracy matters, especially when it comes to checking for a fever. Exergen's accuracy is backed by published, peer-reviewed clinical studies. Details at exergen.com.
And at 8:29, we're going to check it here, just ahead of Tom Izzo, right after the 8:30 news. Coach Tom Izzo, after that heartbreaking loss against UCLA in overtime, 86-80, this morning. Right now, it's our WJR traffic and weather first, and Dana Clark.
Great drive out there right now, Paul W. Accident free, no major delays. Let's remind you about construction that is happening throughout the weekend. It's along Big Beaver, both directions, eastbound and westbound, between Troy Center Drive and Livernois. That is shut under 75 for construction. That will be closed until 6 p.m. on Monday. You can try Maple or Waddles instead. Now, WJR Weather First from the Weather Channel, sponsored by Primetime Testing Laboratory. In need of automotive component or vehicle testing, Primetime is accredited to a range of mechanical testing services, from environmental chambers and vibration equipment to electrical reliability cycling and plastic material testing, just to name a few. For your next automotive project, get a free quote at primetimetestinglab.com. That's primetimetestinglab.com. Lots of sunshine to kick off the weekend. Today's high 47, tonight clear, your low 26. Sunshine, 27 degrees. I'm Dana Clark. WJR News with Marie Osborne is coming up.
Every year, Axalta releases a new mobility color. And here to announce the 2021 Global Automotive Color of the Year is Axalta's Global Color Manager, Nancy Lockhart.
Axalta's 2021 Color of the Year is Electrolyte, a refreshing green-yellow hue with bold contemporary elements that bring style and functionality to life. The color is soothing and calm with an opaque simplicity, yet exciting and fresh with its vibrancy.
Visit axalta.com/color for more information. Axalta Coating Systems, inventors of your favorite color. Aria is proud to support WJR's Road Show with Paul W. Smith every Friday this month. Hear all about the future of mobility and the great new vehicles you'll be seeing on the road today, tomorrow, and into the future. Aria builds quiet, comfortable, durable into your vehicle.
This report is sponsored by LifeLock Identity Theft Protection. Tax season can be a big headache if identity thieves steal personal info from your tax forms. LifeLock helps protect, monitor, and restore your identity. No one can monitor all transactions at all businesses, but you can save up to 25% off your first year at lifelock.com. Promo code RISK.
President Biden announcing that the U.S. will reach its goal of 100 million shots in the first 100 days today. 58 days into his administration, the president noting it's a week ahead of his schedule. But while the Biden administration has ramped up the distribution of the vaccine, nearly doubling the number of shots given to states each week, the U.S. was already roughly vaccinating about 1 million Americans a day under former President Trump when Biden took office. The president said he'll announce another goal for vaccinations today when he visits Atlanta. And there are growing concerns here in Michigan about the growing numbers of COVID cases. The latest numbers from the Michigan Health Department confirming 2,629 new cases of the virus, 25 more deaths. Wednesday's figures were the highest that they've been since August. Michigan had the 5th highest rate of new cases in the country over the last week. Michigan Governor Gretchen Whitmer will be addressing the pandemic response coming up today at a press conference at 9:15.
Doing okay, Dub? You need anything?
I'm just trying to find the late night guys that were talking. Charles Barkley stood up for Tom Izzo, and there was another guy there, and I don't know who he is, and I know him, but I can't think of his name. I don't know.
Was the last name Smith?
I never saw it was terrible. I don't know what I was watching. What channel was the game on last night? Because I just talk into the thing and say
TBS, the Turner Broadcasting.
TBS? Okay, let's look for TBS.
Turner Broadcasting.
I need pictures to know who that guy was, but the TBS, and they never put the names up of the different people that were there, guys sitting in a round table, about 1, 2, 3, 4,
Okay,
4 or 5 guys. And the guy sitting right next to Charles Barkley was criticizing Coach Izzo because of the argument that he was having with a player. And Barkley was saying, look, this happens in sports and life. It's like when a father's talking to their son, and Tom Izzo has that kind of a relationship with his players.
Yes, he does.
If you're speaking sternly to your son and he walks away, you grab his shirt and say, come back here. I'm not done.
Well, it's disrespectful, right?
Right. And by the way, it was former Michigan State players that came to Coach Izzo's defense.
So the guy that Barkley was talking to was a guy by the name of Kenny Smith.
I don't
recognize him.
I don't recognize the name, but he's a famous sports guy, or even if it's just sports announcer. I've seen him before. I just couldn't think of his name, and they never put it up there.
Smith,
because when I look at the announcing teams, they've got Jim Nantz, Bill Raftery, Grant Hill, Tracy Wolfson, Brian Anderson, Jim Jackson, Allie LaForce, Ian Eagle, Jamie. I don't even see. I see a Steve Smith, but I don't see any other Smiths there.
There's a Kenny Smith who's quoted in the Free Press article.
Oh, I don't have it. What's it say?
I just pulled it up. Hang on a second. I had it. It's this Kenny Smith during the halftime show who said he thought that Tom's reaction was extreme. And then Barkley says, I've been yelled at by a coach. That's part of the game. And then Smith responded to Barkley saying, I think they both took it too far.
Yeah, that's the guy.
So his name is Kenny Smith, but I do not know who that is.
Jeez, it's amazing how hard it is to find that information.
I know. I keep Googling it.
I even went to Turner Broadcasting, and
Kenny Smith.
I'd like to see a picture of him to know to feel comfortable that I'm.
No better. It's in the pre-press.
Well, I don't have it. So.
Images. If you Google Kenny Smith, but Google images, you'll be able to see a picture.
All right.
And I guess, according to what I'm looking at, he is frequently on with Charles.
They didn't seem to get along particularly well.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah, that's him.
Is that him? Kenny Smith and Charles.
So he looks like he's gained weight from this picture. Kenneth the Jet Smith.
They are the only choice. Call
Former pro basketball
800-854-4534
player.
or go to ejhconstruction.com.
So they're both
He was with
there.
the Pistons, for God's sakes.
Welcome back to the WJR
Is,
Road
Steve
Show
there?
with Paul W. Smith. Today featuring Ford. This stop on the Road Show is presented by Axalta, Aurea, Bridgestone, Continental Structural Plastics, and Lear. Once again, Paul W. Smith.
Well, a tough night and an even tougher morning as our Spartans of MSU fall in overtime to UCLA, 86-80. And, well, we're going to talk about it. We're going to talk about it with the man at the head of the class and the coach of the Spartans, MSU basketball coach Tom Izzo, and Mr. Steve Courtney, who I'm going to guess had a good night's sleep, because I know it's hard for you to stay up late, Steve, when you have to get up early.
Well, you know what? It was a labor of love there, Dub. Don't you worry about that. Unfortunately, it didn't go as planned. Spartans got off to a hell of a start at Mackey Arena there in West Lafayette, building an 11-point halftime lead, up by 5 with 90 seconds to go, and then things went south. That's where we pick it up here. Coach, how are you this morning?
Morning, Coach.
I'm good, guys. I'm good, man. It's guess it was a short night, but we got back about 3:15, and yet, as I text you, Paul W. later than that, I'm up and at 'em, and you're right. We probably played some of the best basketball we had all year. If you talk about ball movement, making shots, doing the things we needed to do, but I think we kind of ran out of gas. Josh Langford, unfortunately, even if we would have gone on that, hurt that foot and warm up, and we didn't think he could go at halftime. We just kind of ran out of bodies, drained Aaron Henry, and didn't get the job done down the stretch, with that lead and opportunities to put it away. We didn't do it. And, disturbing, sad, but it's, part of the ups and downs.
Coach, you got in at 3:15 and you still had a meeting with the team. What do you say post-game to the team in that final team meeting after that loss?
Well, you meet in the locker room, but there just wasn't much to be said. And then, we rode in 3 different buses. That's the protocol. So we were all spread out, and we just, when we got here, I just had a quick meeting to tell them what the day would be like. You can't leave the hotel or you can't get back in. So wanted to make sure that everybody understood that. And I talked to them that actually that we'll have a meeting at 10 o'clock this morning, a little breakfast down in our meeting room. And then, we'll bus back to campus at about 11:30. So, it was just to say thanks to Josh, for all he's done, and try to impress upon him. I think if you don't meet in a moment, everybody says, well, let it go to the next day or let it go. Sometimes if you don't meet in a moment, many of the times in my career, I've called a timeout with 10 seconds left just to kind of capture the moment and hopefully the impact. Me as a coach, them as players, we didn't do the things you needed to do down the stretch to win a game. And if you don't talk about those things, then they don't get better the next time. So we just talked about, a few mistakes we made, and yet we did more thinking than talking. It's been an unbelievable year, and those kids went through a lot, and for the most part did their job.
As well as the first half went, Tom, offensively, there were some defensive lapses, some problems with some switches, which led to a family dispute at the conclusion of that first half with yourself and Gabe Brown. That probably the water cooler conversation. As I say, it's a family dispute. Some former Spartan players going on social media saying, this is what Michigan State basketball is all about. Your thoughts on that?
It's so dumb, Steve. It's Gabe did miss a switch that they had just done before. We had talked about it, and he was trying to blame another player. And And, that's not the way. Those 2 points could have been very critical at the end of the game. And people don't understand that. And Gabe Brown and I have a phenomenal relationship. And, Mike Garland is half raised Gabe. Gabe lost his father. He's been part of our family. And it's so dumb. I'm not even going to talk about it. I mean, people, there's been so many things in the last 3-4 years that people want to blame you for. And let me tell you something, Gabe Brown, I love the kid. He's great. He went, he actually played pretty well in a lot of ways. Ran the court, did his things, but there's mistakes. I mean, I don't get what people. I don't understand.
I just want to say, you have a very special relationship with your players. You always have, Tom Izzo, even like a father-son relationship. And if I were being talked to about an issue or a problem with my dad, and I turned and walked away, my dad would grab me in my shirt and say, "Hey, wait, I'm not done here." What's that?
There's no question. And Gabe, trust me on this, Gabe was upset with himself, and he knew it. And the other thing, he's blaming the other guy. And, and then he realized that it was his mistake. And that was so nothing. It just,
the announcers tried to make it a big deal. Kenny Smith got into an argument with Charles Barkley. Charles Barkley was totally on your side, fully understood what was going on. Kenny Smith was trying to make it a big deal. And then I saw the press conference afterwards, and on such a big and important game, that's one of the big questions they want to ask you, and I don't blame you for your frustration.
Well, you didn't see Jimmy Jackson probably saying anything. Kenny is, I think those Carolina guys had a little, I know this. If I watched the documentary on Michael Jordan, he got after some people, and that was so. You're exactly right. What happened? I wanted to talk to him. He walked away, grabbed his shirt, and pulled him back. We walked down the hall after that. It was just no big deal.
Right.
But
silly.
It is what it is.
It's the culture of the day, Coach. It's the culture. It's the cancel culture of the day. Everything.
Yeah, but I'm not into the culture today. I'm into right and wrong. And you hit the nail on the head. And Gabe is fine. I told those guys, let's bring Gabe in on the interview. It's just so ridiculous. But that has nothing to do with the game. And I know you have to ask the question. I know they have to ask the question. But until I'm done, my job is very difficult. Like everybody's job who's trying to do great things, you included. And when you do that, the margin for error is very slim. And the reason it's so hard to do it is not everybody will do it. And accountability is accountability. And I'll hold myself accountable. I'll hold them. If somebody has a problem with it, then it worked out pretty well for Aaron Henry, waving my finger on him because he didn't look at it. And, he's gone on to have a pretty good career. And, it's not even worthy of talking about. So, Steve, I appreciate you have to ask it. Let's get on to some better things, and that's the incredible play and some of the mistakes we made down the stretch, not rebounding the ball, a couple of bad shots, and some turnovers.
And Josh Langford, quickly here, Tom, the fifth-year senior, 3 years to the day since his last tournament game. Can't say enough about that young man. There was some speculation he may come back for a sixth year after the ball game last night, maybe emotion, saying that was his last college basketball game at Michigan State. Do you still hold out hope he may return?
I don't know. That'd be something. I mean, we never really even talked about it. It was going to be an option. The problem is I'm a little worried about his foot. After halftime, we just didn't know if he could go. I'm betting if we would have won, he wouldn't have been able to play. So that might total his career, just the constant injuries. And I pray for the kid. He's an unbelievable kid and gave me everything he had. So even in a loss, he fought till the very end on a wounded foot. And God, I just can't tell you how much respect and admiration I have for that kid.
All right. Thanks for everything, Coach, in a very challenging year.
Thank you, guys. I'm sure we'll talk Fridays and Mondays, as long as this tournament's going on. I'd be glad to talk to you guys every week.
Excellent. We would love that. Have a great breakfast with the kids, Coach. God bless you.
I will. Thank you, guys.
All right. Coach Tom Izzo, MSU basketball coach. It was especially tough, Stevie. Especially tough.
Well, it was a very tough year. There's no question about it. But you know what? You notice at the end of the day, Tom doesn't make any excuses.
None.
The ball game was there for this team to win. But as we've seen a few times during the course of this year, just couldn't make the play when they needed to. And all the credit in the world to UCLA. They go in having lost 4 straight. They had the lead in each of those games. Last night, they turned the tables and were able to overcome that 11-point halftime deficit. So there you
Right,
go.
you are. Have a great weekend. Stevie, thanks. 8:47 at WJR.
This report is sponsored by Merrill. With Merrill Guided Investing, you have the option to work with an advisor at a low cost and minimum. Get started at merrilledge.com/investing goals. Merrill Lynch, Pierce, Fenner, and Smith Incorporated, both a registered broker-dealer and investment advisor. Member SIPC.
WJR Traffic and Weather First, Dana Clark.
Traffic First, sponsored by the Carpenters Labor Management Partnership Team. Make a career change today. Join the skill.
Hello, Ken. Welcome to the stream.
Hello.
I'm not hearing Dana.
Now, WJR Weather First from the Weather Channel, sponsored by Reamer Floors. The Reamer Floors 75-hour anniversary savings event is here. Save up to 40% on new flooring for your home. Save on top brands like Kerastane carpet, hardwood, or waterproof flooring for 75 hours, only Wednesday through Saturday at Reamer Floors.
Good morning, Ken. Can you hear me, Sean? Ken keeps popping out of the stream.
Mine keeps...
Confidence. It's important to have when you're on the road.
Let's take this out for a minute.
Mine, and it kept muting.
Yeah, I know. Hey, Ken?
Yes,
Can you hear me? Oh, yeah, you sound great. Can you hear?
I think they have a live spot. I think that's why they keep pulling it out. Okay.
Can you hear, Paul? You
For
cannot.
their OE and aftermarket customers around the globe. Bridgestone, solutions for your journey. Every year, Axalta releases a new mobility color. And here to announce the 2021 Global Automotive Color of the Year is Axalta's Global Color Manager, Nancy Lockhart.
Paulie, can you hear me? Paul.
Style and functionality to life. The color is soothing and calm with an opaque simplicity, yet exciting and fresh with its vibrancy.
Visit Axalta.com/color for more information. Axalta Coating Systems, inventors of your favorite color.
On the regular system. All righty. And when you choose Blue Cross Blue Shield of Michigan for your Medicare coverage, it's easy to get the care, tests, or treatment you need whenever you need them. When you need access to care, Blue Cross provides you with more options that work for every lifestyle. Schedule appointments for checkups or routine care at a time that's convenient for you. If you'd like to stay close to home, give the Blue Cross 24/7 nurse line a call or schedule a virtual doctor's visit. Whenever you need assistance, Blue Cross will connect you with the information and help you need. With a Blue Cross Medicare plan, you'll never have to do or go without your medication. Their easy-to-use prescription drug plans allow you to refill and pick up your medications from your local pharmacy or have them delivered by mail. Get access to the care you need as soon as you need it with Blue Cross. The company more than 500,000 people in Michigan trust for their Medicare coverage. Blue Cross Blue Shield of Michigan, confidence comes with every card. See what other members are saying at bcbsm.com/seniorcare. bcbsm.com/seniorcare. Note to Brian here, for whatever reason, I still have Steve Courtney and Tom Izzo up on my screen. I don't know if that's what's keeping us from connecting properly or whatever, but I'm standing by.
When it comes to protecting our family from COVID, my wife and I are on.
Can you hear me here?
I can hear you now.
Can anybody hear me?
I can hear you.
I don't hear anybody.
I can hear you too.
But you don't hear anything, Paul? Brian? We're Sean, pop in here for us.
yeah.
Why isn't Paul hearing us?
Everybody on my other system, so I'm back on the original system of WJR.
Yeah, that's very odd. I'm trying to think. I don't know if he bumped one of his own settings. I don't think he did. I mean, we've been doing everything like we have.
Well, now I see Sean and Ken and Ann, but
Can you hear us at all, Paul?
I can hear everyone.
I know, you sound great to me.
you guys can hear me,
Yes.
but I can't hear you.
So, Paul,
That
go
doesn't
in.
make any sense.
Okay, so we need you to go in. Hang on, I'll call him.
Okay. All right, you guys sound good on your end.
Test, test, test.
Test, test, test.
I can't hear anybody. I'm going to go to the other system. Hello, test.
I hear you, Paul.
Ken, can you hear me?
Yes.
Now I can hear Ken. I don't know what happened. Okay, thanks. Bye.
All right, sorry about that, guys. I think we should be good now.
Yeah.
That was a little odd.
Yeah, and it would happen only as we had Ford's chief technology officer on, as our technology failed us miserably at that moment. I'm just saying, this is the way it works, isn't it? This is Murphy's Law.
It is Murphy's Law for you.
It
But
keeps
you
us
know,
humble.
you figured it out. That's the
Ken,
key.
nice to have you here. Things are well?
Things are well. It's always a pleasure to be here. It's good to be with you.
I love the whole robotics thing. We used to go to Orlando, Florida, with Dean Kamen and do the first robotics program, where we finally carried the science, what we call now the STEM kids. We hoisted them on our shoulders with bagpipers and said, we're number one.
800-743-8989. 800-743-8989.
Welcome back to the WJR Road Show with Paul W. Smith. Today featuring Ford. This stop on the road show is presented by Axalta, Aurea, Bridgestone, Continental Structural Plastics, and Lear. Once again, Paul W. Smith.
This was the epitome of Murphy's Law. We have the Ford Motor Company Chief Technology Officer, and all of our technology dropped off at just that moment. I'm not blaming you, Ken Washington. I'm just saying. I mean, this is the epitome of Murphy's Law.
But you got it back.
We did get it back. Well, we got it back almost just in the nick of time. But I want to get right to what you're talking about, because this is a big deal. You're teaming up with University of Michigan, my alma mater, to open a world-class robotics complex to accelerate future of advanced, more equitable robotics and mobility. Tell us about it.
It is a big deal, and we are so excited about it. We've been partners with University of Michigan for many years, but this really takes it to the next level. What this facility does is it will put 100 Ford engineers in the same facility with University of Michigan professors and students, and they'll be able to share equipment, work on the same projects together. And most importantly, we'll be partnering with the university on redefining a new way of bringing robotics to kids, and a program where a robotics 101 course will be offered to a historically Black college and university, so that they can begin their studies in this program and then come to the University of Michigan at the graduate level. It's going to create an on-ramp for new talent that previously had not the same kind of access to this type of opportunity. So it's a talent play and it's a technology play. It's a win-win all the way around.
I don't mean to put words in your mouth, but I'm going to. I'm sure that you like what Dean Kamen started many years ago. The first robotics program started with high school. Now it's even grade school and high school. It seems to go hand in glove with what you're talking about and the next level, the next step of robotics.
Oh, it absolutely does. We're very familiar with the first robotics program. Ford is a sponsor of the first robotics program as well.
Right.
And so this Ford Robotics building and the work we'll be doing with the University of Michigan will be amplified and will amplify the Ford First Robotics activities. So it's going to be a full continuum of opportunity for young people to enter the field of robotics and become STEM engineers.
And this is a time, we didn't have the term STEM when I first started covering of the first robotics and Dean Kamen. That was back in Orlando, Florida at the finals. We were there. J.T. Battenberg III at the time at Delphi, and Francois Castang and all these people that were involved with that. We've gone beyond now, but I love the idea of being able to give the STEM kids the chance to be hoisted above the shoulders of their fellow students, saying we're number one, just like the sports kids have been able to do. And frankly, what these kids are doing in their world, I'm not putting down sports. I'm just saying in terms of the realm of what's most important in our country and our world, it's the STEM kids and what they're going to be doing for our future. And these world-class labs that you're doing, Ford Motor Company, underwriting, you're talking about human-centered robotics.
That's right. Human-centered robotics. You know, what's really neat about robotics and the opportunities that this facility is going to provide is that robotics has many applications. It has applications in our manufacturing facilities. There are opportunities to go hand in glove with our vehicles, both commercial vehicles and retail vehicles. We'll also be bringing technologies for doing automation and learning new skills in artificial intelligence. So it's a very broad field. There are all kinds of robots, walking robots, rolling robots, flying robots. And look, there are going to be creative collisions that happen in this building as well. We'll see the professors and students working in fields that are not directly relevant to Ford, but we'll learn by watching them, and vice versa. They'll learn by interacting with us, and it'll really create a value for everyone.
Ken Washington, Ford Chief Technology Officer, you'll be overseeing a building unlike any other building in the world, and it's going to be right here in Michigan. God bless you for the work you do. We'll have you back on and talk more about some of this in the days ahead, okay?
Thank you very much. It was great being here.
Thank you, Ken. Ken Washington. Running out of time. Thanks to Ann Thomas, Brian Morton, Mike Kim Smith, and of course you, our WJR listeners. We love you. Happy spring. It comes in tomorrow morning, bright and early. Stand by for former Senator Rick Santorum, our old pal from Philly. He's going to regale you with a great talk show today. You go on out and make it a great rest of the day, a great weekend. Take care of yourselves and the ones you love. Regards, Paul W. Smith.
This report is sponsored by Exergen. Accuracy matters. Trade up any